Hello, everybody, and welcome to the GingerTalks podcast. My name is Ginger Snaps, and joining me is our wonderful friend, Druid. Druid, buddy, how the hell are you doing?
Well, according to the talking gerbil on my left shoulder, I've taken a Benadryl. So this one's going to be a fucking wild ride. I'm just a quick disclaimer to the listener at home. You know, I'm either going to fall asleep within the first hour, or I'm going to be like investing Ethereum into fucking the Cheech and Chong Simpsons Tapped Out weed growing game, now available on the Google Play Store. I'm already slurring my words so early.
Well, and I just got done being sick. Like my voice is almost 100% recovered. Everything, I've been pretty much recovered. And now you're like slowly on that train to sick town. So.
Yeah, the fucking midnight train to Georgia. Yeah, so if my wits aren't about me, please can everyone just give me some space to just fucking impression my way out of the fucking hole that I'm digging. Because, like, listen to me already. The intro sounds like I'm giving, like, a fucking presentation in middle school.
I love it.
When you're reading off those flashcards.
Mm-hmm.
And oh my god, is this a dagger I see before me? And Trent's an asshole.
Well, I think we know what kind of show we're in for. So let me introduce our guest while we still have Druid in as close to full force as we can. Joining us this week is someone that I've known for quite a while. And it is the wonderful Fatal Exodus. Fatal, how you doing, dude?
Not too bad. How are you doing?
Good. I was actually just trying to think about how long we've known each other.
I was talking to Druid.
Well, fine. I see how it is.
Hey, muchacho, this is a two-man show.
I'm doing good. I'm doing well, considering.
Yeah. You live a fairly busy life, so you and I actually haven't had much of a chance to catch up much.
Well, yeah, I've been pretty busy. Ginger hates me, so again, thank
whatever.
You for having a Druid. But the fact of the matter is yes, I own and operate a plumbing and heating company, and for about the past 2 years, while I've been trying to get people hired because of current events that have transpired, I have not been able to get anyone hired. We could possibly go down that rabbit hole at a later time, but we'll keep it brief for now.
Yeah, because a fun fact, there was almost a podcast between the two of us before
Before I disappeared on your ass?
Yeah, like you got so busy, and I was trying to respect how busy you were, that I was just like, I'm gonna just backburner this. It's still a section in my Discord.
Yeah.
But we backburnered it, and I had been talking one day about, wanting to do a podcast and not, like I wanted to make sure that you focus your priorities where they needed to be focused. And then Druid drunkenly sends me the proposal for GingerTalks, and here we are.
And the horror to find out that you're Ashton Kutcher in the 2.5 Men fucking arena that is my life.
Was that me or Ginger?
I mean...
I take your pick.
Okay.
But I mean, we would... God, it's been almost a year since we had talked about it. Like, that's how long ago that was. I mean, that's...
If this is September, then yes.
It's not...
I think it was right around September. I want to think it was actually before the entire debacle of New World coming out. It was somewhere within that vein.
I think it was June, because I was doing charity stuff. I think. Because I remember I was doing something for charity because we played Hunt together.
Yes, which you actually are quite good at, by the way. And I would say to go back to the game if it wasn't a heaping pile of dog shit right now. With raspberries on it. Yes.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you were saying?
Because I remember we sat down and we were talking about the podcast, and then both of our lives kind of exploded with being busy, and yeah, I mean, but we were gaming with each other long before that, too.
We go back to probably December. It was a little bit of Phasmophobia, and then we were also playing In Silence.
Yup.
And then the market came down crashing on your head.
Yes. Yeah, because I was playing Phasmo and In Silence while I had my concussion.
Yes, I do remember that.
Because I remember playing Phasmo with David and being concussed, and I was playing with you guys, and I remember you yelling at me for playing video games while I was freshly injured.
No, I was not yelling. David was yelling at you. I was enjoying every fucking second of playing Phasmo with someone with a fucking concussion because there was some weird shit that came out of your mouth. And I was like, this is awesome.
It was fucking chaos. But yeah, I mean, we've known each other over a year at this point.
Yeah, right about there. I would actually place it again to about middle of December 2020.
Yeah. So I like to, establish with people like how long I've known somebody. So when we start like just ripping into each other about something, like people know this is the first time I'm meeting this person and I'm just digging into them. And no, I've known this guy for a long time. Well, what feels like a long time. So
and I did think about one of the few things I didn't want to wind up having it running through my head too much, getting all these pre-recorded ideas in my head and shit before doing the podcast. But the one that I was going to come in, I was like, hello, Drew, pleasure meeting you. Ginger, fuck you. And she would have understood, most people listening now that we're into it a little bit. Again, that's how long. And it was usually fuck you, Fatal, fuck you, Ginger, or the reciprocal, depending upon who said it first.
Yes. I mean, like, our hellos were fuck you. I mean, that's just what it was. And
I mean, gosh, that podcast would have been like Pee-wee's Playhouse. Absolutely fantastic. I feel like we should fucking record like an alternate reality intro where I'm the guest.
Oh no. And today with Fatal Exodus Talks, we have Ginger Snap 67 and, more importantly, Druid Knowledge.
Oh. Oh.
Yep. You've heard of the Easter Bunny. How about the Benadryl buddy? Once a year, he lays his fetid eggs.
But going back to what you were saying, Ginger, is that it was, there was a lot going on in the world at the time. And as far as the gaming communities and getting along on Twitch and everything else like that, we, I think, came out ahead compared to some that we were able to find various communities, friends, and such due to the current circumstances.
Yeah. It wasn't anything super expected. I mean, because I've said it before, but Druid and I met via random happenstance, and now we are like good friends with each other, and we check on each other. We have a podcast together. Like we spend hours and hours every week just talking. Mm-hmm. And, if it weren't for the circumstances of the world, it wouldn't have happened.
Right. So it would be considered a common law marriage by this point.
Yeah.
That's the listener's headcanon. I like to think that the listeners assume that we gave birth to them. But, it's crazy. I didn't even fucking really know what Twitch was. before all that happenstance,
Mm.
and all of a sudden think that I'm qualified to talk about it for up to 3 hours, mostly with strangers. I don't know why am I here? I mean, the fatal Exodus talks should be all the rage right now.
Well, I don't know. I prefer listening to the Ginger Talks, which is available on Spotify. And what other services again, Ginger?
Your favorite podcast listening platforms like Apple Music and Google Podcasts, and on YouTube.
Now, I'll go ahead and identify the thing that's lurking in the room is I almost feel like Ginger, anytime she speaks with me, is a little bit more timid compared to most people. And I could be wrong about that. But I know that we're coming with some apprehension because, again, I spoke with Ginger originally about doing something along these lines, and then I disappeared into the woodwork while still appearing on Twitch. But she nailed it on the head with where life is just fucking crazy. Going back to what we were also talking about was the fact of the matter that, as far as Twitch and COVID and the communities, Drew, you were saying like you didn't even know what the fuck a Twitch was. And it was around early November, and such that it was. I had a lot of personal events that came up, none of them good. And the fact of the matter is that Twitch was definitely a sanity saver for me at that time.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And, it's just so many people started in that time, and it's, now things are easing up and life's changing. It's a testament to the strength of the communities that so many people are still here.
Yeah. I mean, I've seen on Twitter 3 different streamers this week alone announced that they were done with Twitch because the real life before that has opened back up. And like they can't balance a daytime job, working in, outside of their home, and then, coming home and streaming while trying to catch up with friends and do all these different things. And I'm like, nah, fam, I don't want to fucking be around people that much anyway. I'm just happy that I have a computer now that I can play games on.
Oh, it reminds me of the one meme on the internet with the emo guy looking out his windows. He's like, social distancing. I've been practicing this my whole life.
Honestly, that's me though.
The Dungeons and Dragons guy saying real life. I've never heard of that server.
Yeah, like, I did stand-up comedy for 2.5 years before the pandemic, and I was just looking for an excuse to stop going. Like, I love the people that I did stand-up with, and I loved hanging out with those guys, but it was constantly just standing, like, out back while people were bombing at open mics, chain smoking an entire pack of cigarettes, and drinking PBR.
And that's why we feel more comfortable at like fucking transitioning into sit down non-comedy, right? Which is what this basically is.
I mean,
well, that kind of reminds me of even along the lines of cell phones coming out and then text messaging, and so many people, because they prefer text messaging because there's no expectations of necessarily timing or the tone of your voice. Don't get me wrong, people go ahead and read into, like I didn't say, I'm like, calm down. That's not how I meant it. I just said dinner was good.
Right.
I didn't do a ... or an emoji with a poop emoji or anything else like that. But certain people open up in different platforms, whether it be personal interaction in person or through different, forms of media, whether it be Twitch, being a chatter, being a streamer, or something along those lines.
Well, and that's like Druid has through some circumstances and situations, every time I do a charity event, I'm like, hey Druid, I'm wanting to do this for the with the podcast, are you cool with that? And he almost always offers up something that he thinks will not happen, And then the community fucks around and he finds out that, oh, I actually have to do this. So this man who has said, I will never stream on Twitch, it's a reality that he might have to. And it cracks me up.
While taking Benadryl.
Right.
Well, the entertainment factor of the Benadryl has not kicked in yet, apart from the fact that I'm talking like I've just done, like I'm in a Rocky film. Because I sound so fucking, I sound so fucking drunk. It's unbelievable. I can hear myself through the cans, the old studio lingo there. I can hear myself through the cans, man. And I sound like fucking Ozzy Osbourne more than ever on this episode. This sounds fucking terrible. My sinuses are on fire. We don't need an intervention.
Well, I mean, if there is an intervention and it's free, we might accept.
I mean, it's it's okay. We'll all make it through.
I mean, that would be a hell of a first Twitch stream.
Oh my god!
Everyone corners me and say, "You're not the same druid anymore, man. Since you started on that fucking Benadryl, man." And I'm like, man, I know, man. Benadryl's got man.
But you know what? You already have a sponsor.
Right.
Yeah, I love the connotation that goes with that. Like, oh, kids, we're sponsored by Benadryl. Make sure you take 3 a day only. And then you listen to me, like, fuck, Benadryl.
Your Flintstones Benadryl.
Dude,
yeah.
Freaking Benadryl Druid sounds like my one uncle who took too much of the brown acid back in the 70s and 80s.
I thank you for your support in this hard time.
Buddy, I had that moment, that wave of, Uncle Kenny, is that you? Are you crossing a highway? What?
The difference being that he hasn't said every intro to his sentences. Hey, man.
Dude.
Hey, man, there's time for that yet, man. Where do you even go with that, man? Without like just it being like the Big Lebowski,
right?
I'm Jeff Bridges, man. He's the dude, man. I'm the Druid, man.
I like that rug. It really pulled the room together.
And it's so funny because I've got like such a classic Big Lebowski rug in this room.
Mm-hmm. I love it.
And that's fucked up as I'm thinking about it now. Place in my office sitting in right now, and I really, in fact, did tie the room together.
I mean, yeah, so does this one, man. And it's like, what? Who the fuck is in charge of like designing rugs? By the way, because it looks like the style that they fucking design rugs in. It adorns every college dorm fucking common area, right? That fucking tie-dye floral pattern.
Mm-hmm.
What the fuck are these guys on designing rugs, man?
Well, it's like greeting card writers. I mean, there's only so many ways you could tell someone to have a happy birthday. That's basically what a floor rug is. Is it truly a greeting card? It's saying, welcome to the room, happy birthday.
Holy fuck. Holy fuck, Fatal.
Yeah.
I know, and I've never done much in the way of, like, I smoked a handful of pot. This brain was born like this.
I love it.
But it might not surprise anyone. I've done a bit of LSD in my time. And this rug did a lot more than tie the room together that day, I must say. It started telling me that time isn't a constant process, but in fact a circular experience of images refracted constantly that never move forward, but instead are snapshots of reality at different points in time. There is no such thing as death, but instead a state of being that exists within eternity. Everything that ever was and will be is forever, and forever is a chain that cannot be broken.
Well, not to interrupt your rug that doubles as a pop-up book when you're taking certain substances, but also it's if you believe in the aspect of time, it's really just humankind's explanation of why there's movement of matter and energy around us at all times.
I mean, like, don't get me started. I'm on the Benadryl.
I mean, you can end the fucking podcast right there. I'm just saying.
Yeah. I'm on the Benadryl, buddy. I'll start talking about the fourth dimension, man. This is fucking the Interstellar podcast with Matthew McConaughey.
We're going to bring it back down to Twitch talk just so we can, because Ginger got fucking quiet as fuck.
No, so you can cut this out, but no, my roommate turned on the blender and it was super loud. It sounded like it was in the room and I was like, fuck. But no, like the waxing philosophical shit is definitely not my, like, waxing philosophical like that isn't my forte, but people who listen to last week's episode know that, like, I'll come in there with them, like, with those big brain answers, thoughts, but I haven't done drugs in a very long time. So, like, my brain just doesn't fucking do that shit anymore.
Well, or you could just go to college. I mean, like, fuck it.
Whoa. I went to college for 2 years, and then I left.
Druid's not saying you have to be enrolled in college. You just go to college, and you're going to be at a party regardless.
I mean,
I'm so glad you're here. Thank you, by the way. I'm not one of the fucking 1% all of a sudden. Don't worry. I know we've had we've had all this fucking money coming in from the pod now. We've got Ted Sarandos, we've got Raid Shadow Legends, we've got all the fucking Hello Fresh, you're eating well, we've got all the fucking shit coming in.
I mean, it's even because of your podcast that Candy Crush is making a resurgence.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah. I wonder why Aunt Sally was asking me for extra lives on Facebook, but there it is.
But yeah, no, Twitch is a very interesting platform, and one of the reasons I got into it, I had a fair amount of people. Ginger, one of them, Fierce Kittens, who is another known associate in crime.
Yes.
Everyone was like, "You should stream," and I was like, "That's going to be a fucking disappointment for you." I keep my streams myself very dry for the most part. I really myself try to focus on the content. There are all kinds of different aspects and what have you that you can put up on the screen. I find as a distraction myself. If you're looking for the game that I happen to be playing, it is going to be focused on that motherfucker right there. That's the most eloquent way that I could put it.
Yeah, and I respect that. I mean, because, like, just because you've got, like, a platform doesn't mean that you need to turn into fucking James Cameron, right?
Right.
No, and yeah, that's the mixture of where some people argue that it is work, it isn't work. Take your pick on it. I'm not going to go ahead and change your mind. There's work that goes into it. Is it vital work for the world? Not necessarily, but if I happen to have one person that's having a shitty day and they come into the stream, as I always say, remember to click follow. You don't have to subscribe unless you don't like the Twitch fucking ads, which I can understand because 6 minutes of Twitch ads to see what somebody's face looks like on a stream. It's like, yeah, they need to move that up. That's my personal on that, but yeah, I tend to just keep it relatively low key. Again, that's Fatal Exodus X, FATALEX, DUSX. You can go ahead and crop that later. But I've been in Jen's stream. She's had a tremendous amount of supporters. I know when Drew does get to streaming, we're going to raid the fuck out of him to where he feels like a virgin again.
Well, it's like...
I was actually the one Madonna was singing about.
Oh,
like a virgin streaming DVD for the very first time.
Well, and that's like, Fierce has been streaming definitely a lot longer than I have, but I mean, I'm coming up on 2 years of active streaming because I did it and I hit the ground running, and I treat a lot of aspects of it like a business, but if I'm not having fun, if I'm not
Mhm.
enjoying myself, then I'm not gonna fucking do it. And like, that's been my biggest thing. And you know, I've known plenty of people that have started after I did and they're not doing it anymore, whether their life came about or they just weren't feeling it, they weren't having as much fun. And, you know, like, yeah, I mean, I I would love to have my full-time job be content creation because then I'm in control of it all and I get to really, you know, just I get to enjoy what I'm doing, but then I get to call the shots. I don't have anybody else tell me what I can and can't do, you know, if a mistake happens, it's all on me. I'm not answering to anybody except for who I choose to, like, but I also know that I don't fucking have to be there. If I never
Well,
make it there, I'm cool with that.
and I can respect what you just wound up saying, and that was actually one of the reasons that I left from the company back in 2017, middle of, and started doing my own thing as far as my day job.
Mm-hmm.
As people tell me, I smell like day job, and I'm like, you're right, motherfuckers. And is that I left from that because with my own entity, I have no one to blame but myself if anything goes sideways.
Right.
And that's it. That I just wanted to touch on that.
Well, I mean, we haven't caught up a whole lot. I don't know if you know, but I don't work for Best Buy anymore.
Well, I know you had me blocked for like 4 months.
Oh, whatever. I did not. But yeah, I don't work for Best Buy anymore. I haven't worked full time for Best Buy in almost, like, I'm officially all connections severed probably 3 months now. But I
Right.
hadn't worked there for almost 6.
Okay, that's what I was about to say. I thought it was closer to the 6 month than you
Yeah.
said 3 months, but I get the association, and I don't blame you. And quite honestly, and certain people said, you know, how much longer is Twitch going to be around? It's going to be around longer than fucking Best Buy. I'll tell you that much because it's a dying platform for doing most of that.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is I had I knew I would have a job. And if something happens at my new job, because I'm not working a typical 9 to 5 anymore, if something happens at my current job, I know I can go back to Best Buy if I really need to. I don't want to, and everybody fully understands that. But if something falls through, if my boss, like, if she gets in a car accident and her hand is, you know, she has to have all this surgery to like repair her hand, she can't perform, meaning I'm out of a
What line
job.
of work are you in?
I work for a magician.
Oh, that's when you made that sentence. That's not what most of the listeners are going to think.
Well, most of the listeners probably know because I've talked about it before. But like, if my boss gets in a car accident and breaks her hand, I'm out of a job most likely. So like, I was smart enough to leave the door open with Best Buy, but it's not what I want to go back and do. And
You know, don't you think it's the greatest irony that would be the greatest trick of all, would be to make the whole company disappear?
God damn it.
Hey man, it's just the Benadryl talking, man.
But I mean, like, having
Yeah,
the ability to not have to answer to corporate drones, like, I had a conversation with my boss today about, like, hey, we want to meet and rehearse and do this thing tomorrow. Cool, what time do you want to do it? And she goes, well, you got XYZ going on? And I was like, yeah. Like, I told her today, hey, I have to leave by 5:30 to be home by 6 because I've got something going on. Oh, okay. Like, sometimes I work late, sometimes I fuck around and find out, and then I'm behind on work, but it's my fault. So I have to answer to just one other person about it. Like, it's so freeing to have that. And I fucking love it.
Well, in that case, what you're saying is what a lot of people that say thank you, COVID. Sorry, I am going to wind up going there, but there's a lot of people that kind of came out of the curtain as far as corporate America going, holy shit, I can actually do something that I have more freedom with, more enjoyability, as far as quality of life, where I don't have to answer to the corporate schedule and I can kind of do my own thing. And I'm not saying that's exactly what you were doing, Ginger. And I don't want to keep saying Druid's name, otherwise it's going to knock him out of, back awake from the Benadryl coma. But
hey, what? Hey, what, buddy?
But it's definitely along the lines of the world's changing, and by that I mean it's already changed. And when they had lockdowns across various countries, a lot of people are waking up and seeing what you see now.
Right.
Not calling you a late bloomer by any means.
No, that's fine.
I'm not even saying that you bloomed.
Wow.
But,
oh, wow. Okay.
But I can't give Druid as much shit. I say Benadryl shit ton of the time, but I've known Ginger a lot longer when it comes down to it.
Yeah.
And I also figured that anything that I could throw towards Druid, he's well armed and probably could wind up hurting me verbally. But no, it's an interesting thing. And coming from my point of view and what I was talking about, not being able to get anyone hired, I mean, if they're not looking for this line of work, it's actually making it easier on the back end for me, instead of people like that I've had where they stayed either for a short time or up to 9 months, where they're like, I don't think this is for me. And I'm like, 9 months later, I'm like, oh, thanks for that.
Right.
It's like, I spent a lot of time. You have helped. You have definitely helped the company. But yeah, no, and I heard with Ginger her aspirations in her voice as far as saying, I want more than what Best Buy has to offer. Anytime that she said the name of Best Buy, even if she had a noise gate on her microphone of any kind, noise suppression, I could hear her fingernails digging into the side of her leg when she said Best Buy. It sounded like there were parts of the job that she enjoyed, but overall there was a lot of the corporate template that she did not. By the way, this is not sponsored by Best Buy, if anybody is curious.
No. Well, because the thing is I was the entire diversity of my team. And I'm not ragging on anybody we've ever had on the podcast. I'm not ragging on, you guys, but my entire team was straight white dudes in a conservative section of the country. And I am very loud. I have bright colored hair. I have a big ass undercut, and I don't back down from shit. So it made me the target for anything goes wrong, anything bad. Corporate would go, well, you're a woman, you should have collected more donations for St. Jude's. Well, I'm sorry, I'm delivering 25 TVs in 8 hours, and I have 6 hours of drive time, not including time for me to unload, unstrap my cargo and take it into houses and do the spiel of talking to people. I'm shoving more work than what should be shoved at me in a shorter period of time, but because I'm a woman, I should have more donations to St. Jude's. Fuck you. Like, there was a lot of that kind of stuff that's just bullshit. But my little old ladies who just would sit there and go, okay, I've got to write down every single step on how to watch my shows this evening. And I'd sit with them while they chicken scratched the instructions and drew a diagram of their remote control for them. Like, I loved that kind of stuff. Those interactions that I had where I felt like I was truly helping people. And then, it was also really cool to walk into a millionaire's house and go, this is fucking beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and just see that section of life.
Yeah, and speaking of those millionaire houses, I walk into them every time and go, there's two of you. You don't fucking need all this. You don't.
Right.
You could have went to a school. You could have opened up a fucking puppy adoption center or anything else. You got a popcorn machine. You can't even eat popcorn, you fucker.
Right.
That's what goes through my head. Instead, it's okay. What's going on today? The toilet isn't draining correctly. Oh, I'm so excited to be here so that I could get your shitter working. I mean, I know that you should cinnamon buns and everything else because you're in the upper class and everything else like that. But it's that's one of the irks of my job, as similar to yours, where I'm assuming there were a number of times where this was the third or fourth entertainment system, if not more, in one house for the upper echelon.
Oh yeah. You know,
Hey, man, there's a storm coming, Mr. Wayne. You and your friends bend down the hatches because when it hits, you're all gonna wonder how you ever thought you could live so large and leave so little for the rest of us.
Dude.
So, sorry.
No,
I'm over here trying to. I'm picturing Batman in like Alabama right now.
Right.
I don't like you, Joker. You got some
coming around.
You got some funny ideas, buddy.
Coming around here with all your knife violence and your hooded figures that laugh at everything that you say. You know what? You're not that funny. You're not that funny.
I didn't even like that purple coat on Prince, and he wrote some good tunes.
Well, and it's like, you know, I'm installing your entertainment system and my truck is loaded with $100,000 for a single room. And I'm like, bruh, you spent more in this one transaction than I've made in the last 3 years combined. Go fuck yourself. Like,
well, and to clarify, also, I believe I could speak for Ginger. This is not coming from an air of envy of any kind.
no.
But it definitely is like, this is on the high side as well as the low side, but in this case on the high side, the frayed edges of a society and how it's kind of broken as a wheel to begin with. I mean, the wheel was invented round, and we have, as a society, become a square wheel.
Yeah.
Well, the only thing that's round about it is that it exists to constantly reproduce itself. It's a big cycle. But like the thing that fucking bugs me about it is that we fucking hail and kneel to the fucking scepter of capitalist fucking reality, man. Oh, it's the Benadryl talking. But like we could, like, you know, things like fucking, you know, national debt in squalor. There's enough money in the world where we could share it evenly, and I sound like such a communist. But like, you know, it's
I'm with you.
No, but what I'm saying is it's a completely made up system, and we fucking kneel to the altar of this made up system because, like, we're told it's the only thing that fucking works. But we could actually change it in an instant. But instead, we choose to comfortably live in a system that actually the only way that people in those positions succeed is for people on the bottom to fail. And we talk about an opportunity in that framework then becomes a complete, you know, it's a false profit. Sorry, fucking hell, the Benadryl's really doing a number. But you know what I mean? Opportunity becomes a false profit because in the current model, the good opportunities come always at a cost, and unfortunately the cost is picked up by people that don't look like, don't act like, and don't think like the people that fucking are in charge of the machine, man.
Yeah, whether they're born into it or if they wind up actually working their way up to that model, which are few and far between. But the bottom line is the reason we have a society that we do is because man needs a ritual, and certain people feel vital in whatever role, whether they be part of the underground, if they're part of the government, or if they are part of Best Buy.
Right.
Or a plumber, or a Benadryl aficionado. Whatever it may be, is that man needs a ritual, to quote the great words of Lewis Black. Hopefully, you don't have to edit that part out. I don't know if that's actually the MCA. But the fact of the matter is that we find our ways in here. And the fact of the matter is, I really feel, and this is something that I've talked about, and again, I have not done LSD or anything strong, but the fact of the matter is that the way to utopia is through self-sacrifice. And if we actually literally thought nothing but each other, we'd have our own backs covered by each other, almost in a military fashion of sorts. But what the fuck were we talking about?
Dude, we were talking about like
I'm pretty sure we were talking about my rug.
Yeah. This is.
I like that rug. It really ties the room together.
Right? Well, it's funny. You guys. I will get irrationally angry if I keep going down that road. But.
Not rugs?
No, not rugs. I'm gonna take it back to rugs and stuff. It's so funny because like people in my life know that like I've lived a very kind of transient life in a way where I've moved more times than years I've been alive. Like I've moved over 30 times in my life. I'm 30 years old. And so
the baby.
I know. And
That's a hell of a wee balance board, by the way.
Right?
Yeah.
But like so I like everything that I own fits in my bedroom and my closet and my bathroom and my apartment. With the exception of a few things like in my living room that like my roommate and I share, but like I don't have a ton of like I have stuff, but I don't have a ton of like extra like stuff, and I don't have a lot of like furniture and stuff. So like everybody who comes over to my apartment and they come into my room and they're just like, "Oh, your walls are empty. This is real cozy." I'm like, yeah, by the time I get shit put up, it's time to take it down and move again. So like I don't have
Who the fuck are they to say cozy? What are they? Estate agents?
right.
Fuck off.
It feels so impersonal in a way. And it's like, well, I mean,
well,
you want to do it for
nothing.
me?
There was an old argument about people that, especially with cell phones these days, that go ahead and they take pictures of every little fucking thing from their feet as they're walking on pavement they've never been on, or the food that they're eating that's out of the country. They're looking through the lens and missing the experience of where they are. Meanwhile, if people don't have a luxurious house that is owned by Ginger Snap 67 because of all of her followers and subs,
Sure.
But the fact of the matter is, instead of going ahead and having everything that is on the walls that tells people who you are, that leaves you to tell them who you are, and it's a much more personal encounter.
Yeah. Well, I mean, because you both know me well enough to know that, like, I'll drop a message and be very vague about something, but as soon as I get a chance to actually, like, talk, like, I do my damnedest to make sure that everybody knows that they are welcome to talk to me, they are welcome to hang out, we're welcome to, kick your feet up and take off your shoes and your coat, hang a while, chat, or don't say anything and just be in the experience. I mean, I'm a firm believer in, you can take pictures and you can, take memories of stuff, but I'm a firm believer in living in an experience. So I don't take pictures and recordings at concerts. I don't take pictures and recordings at drag shows unless I'm asked to. Like, I don't do that kind of stuff. And not knocking the people that do, but I want to live that experience because I would rather have a memory that I can relive the feelings of instead of looking at a picture and going, wait, where was this? What was it?
Well, it also makes you yearn for that experience because unfortunately memories are both fleeting and over time sometimes false. It could be from the beginning or the end,
Right.
but it leaves you wanting to relive that experience again at the same time. It kind of makes life a little bit more yearning and you wanting to do things at that point at the same time.
Yeah. I mean, so I saw my family for the first time in 3 years back in February. And we took a lot of pictures of like me and my little sister and me and my me and my older sister and me and the boys. We took a lot of pictures like that, but we didn't take pictures of like the experience of watching my younger sister extract my older sister's tooth. We didn't take pictures and video of that because that is a moment that I wanted to live in. Granted, I was orbiting Mars at the same time, but it was just
as you do.
right. It like I don't need to take photos of that kind of stuff because if I forget the memory, something will trigger that memory in conversation. So, like, I know that I can step away from technology and, step back and detach from it.
But before you do, remember to click that follow button on Ginger Talks.
Right?
Yeah, we're literally like going by our screen names like we're in the fucking Matrix.
Right. Real quick.
Which, by the way, if I woke up in the real world and everyone's calling me Druid, that ain't so bad. Wait, well, as the British guy here, I should be like Richard Quest on CNN.
Oh, that's it. British. I've been trying to fucking figure that out. No, English people have the actual best accent, and along with that, also put out some of the best productions as well, like a show like Good Omens that I just recently watched the first season of. I would recommend Good Omens, not a sponsor, but if they want to be, Good Omens is an awesome show. I think with the U.S. we could never make up our mind. That's why every fucking state we have a different goddamn accent, and that's me coming from New York to Colorado, where I am now.
Yeah.
Well, I think what a lot of people don't realize or don't hear is how, we are such a small isle, but the regional spread of accents is so diverse, and you're kind of like, in a way, hitting it lucky with me because I've got this kind of neutral thing going on.
A conglomeration almost.
Yeah, so I used to have a Scottish accent when I was a child, and it got mercilessly fucking beaten out of me at preschool. They all thought I was super weird. And now I've got this. I don't know what it is. So, where I'm from, I've mentioned it on the podcast many times before. Where I'm from, our accent is actually voted the least attractive in the country.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm turned on. It's a good thing I'm sitting down.
I mean, I understand it's like having long form talk with Hugh Grant right now. Like, I don't know.
I mean, right now it's like a baby's arm holding an apple. You have no idea. I'm talking about Druid. I, however, have the nickname of Pimento, and I'm good with it.
Yeah, a couple of dried out olives there.
God damn it.
Yeah, but
wow.
we're voted the least attractive accent in the country,
and that's for a whole menopause section of the audience. So.
Yeah. And everybody, our next guest, Whoopi Goldberg.
Fuck.
Do me a favor, when you have Cal go on, call him Whoopi Goldberg just as a deep cut.
Oh, God. Oh, no. I'm
Just call
scared
him
now.
Whoopi.
Like, I'll go the Star Trek route and call him like Guinan Gore.
So, and that's the thing about Cal. Both Lou and Cal, I stream with pretty frequently to kind of bring it back to a bass tone. Lou, since the beginning of streaming, I've been with Lou Calgore, I want to say about March or April of 2021. So probably about, I would say regularly 2 or 3 months after I started streaming, because I went from my potato, as the kids say, up to RBG, I think is what the kids say these days.
RGB.
What?
RGB.
Bless you.
Yeah. I'm not gonna lie. I feel like I'm trying to read hieroglyphs.
Yes. I mean, there is only so much. I mean, there's a reason I left preschool back in the day, because if I have that many fucking colors going off near me, I am going to have ADD if I don't already have it. I have my PC cooler and then the graphics card, which I had no idea were going to be RGB when I got them, but they are. What the fuck was I talking about? Oh, as far as history with streaming, no, Calgore is one of the people you throw something like that out there with him. Yeah, he's it's one of the things I can broadside him pretty quickly, because if anybody says they are the spawn of chaos, I can be as well. But I'm being respectful with the podcast.
Well, so, because the thing is you and Lou and I used to play Hunt together. And
all the time.
We played Hunt together a lot. And when I couldn't always stream with you guys, you met Cal somewhere in there. And Cal is phenomenal. There's something so... Cal is this calm-fronted chaos. Like, the things that come out of Cal's mouth, and so many of the things that he knows and understands and, like, can speak on, it makes me kind of feel dumb sometimes. And not, like, I mean, and that's just because, like, it's like, goddamn, why are all y'all so knowledgeable about shit? Fuck you.
Cal has a lot of worldly knowledge. Lou has a lot of people knowledge. When it comes down to it, he's very personable. And the fact of the matter is that Cal will pull a lot of things as far as worldly knowledge out on you. He is very knowledgeable. I mean, and is Twitch specific with the gaming world. And he will pull a lot of information out on me where I just sit there and I'm like, dude, I don't even know what the fuck you're talking about right now. Like, you are going to an esoteric wormhole that I'm listening. So I just to let you know, I'm going to stand here and listen, but I have nothing to add to the conversation other than
Right.
Yeah. And I feel that with Cal, like, as someone that's bothered him multiple times, is I'm something of like a reference bot, right? Like a patchwork of ridiculous references, and that guy always, like sometimes I can like say shit to people and they go like, "Hey, what the fuck are you talking about?" And Cal always just fucking understands every single reference that I'm throwing out there to him. I must admit. Not that I'm the fucking like keeper of information or anything, but
yeah, we're all the different facets on the diamond of humankind. This is the facet of Cal when it comes down to it. Besides, we don't have to keep fucking talking about him. He's going to be on one of the coming. But Lou as well. I think one of the things that Lou definitely goes ahead and brings up a lot on his stream, which is good for a lot of people to come into his stream, is that no matter ADHD or social anxiety, depression, things like that, he definitely has a very good way of keeping the mainstay where you do not feel like an outcast with it. And feel free to cut this. Ginger, she just fucking calls everybody out on what they are. It's fucked up. I can't go in her show.
Whoa.
Um,
Whoa.
Nah, she doesn't. She doesn't. She's very personable. Besides us getting cut.
And that was the Ginger Talks podcast, everyone.
So we're back. No, but it's been a pleasure with going ahead and with Lou, Cal on a regular. Ginger, it's been a while. We need to do it again. see how I get to you, Ginger. But it's been a pleasure. I'm not in any way, shape, or form personally. I like the community aspect of Twitch. I like a lot of people getting to know one another. It's another form of socializing. Is it the traditional? No, because this is all fucking new compared to millions of years.
Right.
All of a sudden, we had an alien spacecraft that landed and we had technology. I don't really believe that, but it's a fucking possibility.
Right.
Thank you, Area 51, which is a sponsor.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Go ahead and search Area 51 and disappear over the night. But if there's a bunch of guys in black suits that come to your door after searching Area 51, go in their van. Just go. It'll be a fucking trip.
It'll be great.
It's a strippogram. It's fine.
Yeah. No, I mean, don't ask questions. Just go and enjoy the ride. Well,
Exactly.
Yeah, but to go back to something you just said, I mean, like I had a thought today when I was getting the quart of milk from the store at the bottom right street. I realized something. You know, think about like normality, right? Normality takes so long to like take hold and become the accepted state, but in the comparison to like what the universe fucking replicates as normal. Normality is the fucking least natural thing that you could ever conceive. Some kind of social order and like normality in the wake of some kind of like fucking crazy, chaotic fucking spree of shit. So just realize it's made up.
Well, normality is death. And I'm not saying that you got to go ahead and be shock jock or you got to go ahead and be on fucking Twitter with. I'm going to come back around to this because this has been a personal irk as of late. But you don't have to be on Twitter going ahead and blowing the rods to the roof or anything else like that. But just fucking be yourself. And the fact of the matter is, if anyone goes ahead and clashes with that, then they're not for you. And that goes back to the whole speed dating aspect of things.
Preach. Like.
But also think you like. Understand that you're not the fucking main character in existence.
Yeah.
You're just privy to what you fucking see, right? And you can't move mountains with your will,
right?
No matter what Kevin Feige tells you. You know, just fucking live, be well, fucking give to your fellow man. Understand that we're all in that fucking the colander of our time together, and then eventually the water runs out. So just fucking
There is no guidebook for life. You're writing it as you go.
Yes.
If one person that is listening to this has a question about something that they did that might be, well, questionable, not to be beat to death, but it's like, evaluate that. Is it me? Is it them? It's not bad to live in your own head time to time. The rest of the time, make sure it's not too long of a fucking staycation in your own brain, and then just move on from it. And that's one of the things I dealt with growing up. I had horrific social anxiety. I could not talk to people outside the family or the handful of family member friends or friends of the family that I came into speaking when I had the ability to speak. And it was one of the things, along with a lot of other things, that I came out of the veil real quick with. And it's just be yourself. Make sure you are not impeding on another person's personal space, hearing, sight, anything else along the lines. Have a little bit of, consideration when it comes down to it. But that's my TED Talk.
Well, because when you and I started getting really close, Fatal, I mean, we had many deep conversations.
Oh, tons of sexting. I know.
Absolutely. I mean, it was great. But
I mean, Ginger went through like 4 keyboards. Either because they mechanically broke or because of contamination.
Oh, fuck off, whatever. But
No, as long as the pH is right, then she's cool.
Yeah, I mean, fuck. But
Sorry, that was
no.
the worst thing I could have said.
I brought it up one notch from that, and I stopped myself. I was gonna come up with an acronym for a pH, but go ahead.
Oh God! But I mean, we had very like I feel like you and I are people who look at the reality of situations, and we look at the reality of what's going on, and we can know and recognize, like, if we're being irrational, if we're being dumb, if, like, I mean, you are someone who I feel like has a pretty good grasp on those things, but we talked very openly about a lot of stuff, and I'm pretty, if someone has a question about me or my life, I'm very much willing to have conversations. Like, I think everybody who has been around me at all knows that. I mean, I've been pretty vulnerable on the podcast this season just because of shit that's gone on in my life, in the last few months. And the thing is I'm 30 years old now, and it's taken 30 years for me to really hit that point, but so many people don't fucking get there. They don't know how to, like, be real with themselves, and being real with yourself also means being real with other people. And that's fucking, like, just be fucking you, man. Like,
2 things to that real quick. One, I apologize, I wasn't listening. I was watching my bird feeder outside. Second, was that this is a thing. Anyone who doesn't know who they are, that is never going to stop. You're constantly going to evaluate yourself, your actions. Certain things are going to be spontaneous and inspirational that you do in the moment. And you're like regretful of it, or why did I do that, questioning or anything else. Don't let it fucking hang you up unless the cops come to your door. And I'm saying it for a friend. But yeah, it's so many people are going to sit on, as far as things that come up in your own life. There's going to be people that say and all of a sudden start preaching, and I'm not going to get deep into this. A lot of people want to preach from a very popular book that you'll find at most hotels in the drawer. Is you're not supposed to do this or that. It's like, fuck you. That book was written when the life expectancy of people was 25 or 30 fucking years old.
right.
Yeah,
It's
and not even Marvel has a fucking talking snake in it, right?
Oh God.
They opted for a fucking raccoon instead. Same diff.
I've read a lot of literature that has something that is shaped like a snake, and none of it has gotten me any kind of source of peace or anything else. But you got to live in the moment, and that is part of what streaming is about. Again, I'm personally, I'm not doing it for financial or anything else. I'm doing it because I like the community and the shit that comes out of our mouth while we're streaming. We have so many meme moments.
Yes.
It's even like when I said before, hello, Druid, and fuck you, Ginger.
Right.
One of the meme moments, I go into Ginger's stream and she will be fuck you, Fatal. And I'm like, I take it as a compliment.
Right.
It became hashtag fuck you fatal after a while. If you actually look up hashtag fuck you fatal, you will be able to find me. But there are certain people that latch onto that, making it their own and kind of twisting it. it's parts of the darker side of Twitch that I won't go into unless anybody else here goes ahead and fucking tips into it. But it's been an enjoyable experience.
Well,
and go ahead.
The thing on that though is that there's good and bad in everything. Like, so yeah, sometimes you have a bad night where you've had bad games and it fucks with you, or sometimes you have an interaction in chat that just fucking sucks dick. And
that could be a good fucking direction.
I mean, it could be though. But that's the thing is like, there's good and bad in every fucking thing, and as long as the good still outweighs the bad, fucking go for it. Like, so many people who say to me like, oh, you still stream after everything, or blah blah blah, and I'm like, the good is outweighing the bad. Why would I stop?
Yeah, and that's the thing with me as well, and which Druid will when he starts streaming. By the way, everyone go ahead and click follow on Druid Knowledge on Twitch, just to go ahead. I think he's at 12 followers right now. The fact of the matter,
please don't.
No, you should. But there's good. Don't feel compelled to throw money at the people. Don't feel compelled. You want to do something that makes you feel good for you, go ahead and do it by all means. If you're already feeling good and you want to feel better, it's a good experience. That's the way that I look at it. I have definitely, spent a fair amount of money on Twitch myself for people, and just for that moment that made for, and Druid, excuse me, Ginger. Fuck. Ginger,
easy.
I'm trying to include you.
Easy mistakes, mate.
Oh, yeah. Very similar.
It's just I'm feeling compelled to pull you out of the Benadryl fucking coma time to time. So it's like I'm feeling like I got to draw you out of it.
You don't want me there, buddy. Trust me.
You have no idea how much I want you there. But the fact that, but I understand. Married and all that. But it's an enjoyable experience when you take it for the base of what it is. People getting gaming tell you if they want to know something. Not that that's happened to me more than twice. It's an enjoyable experience. The podcast is an enjoyable experience. There's plenty of shit out there. I know there was something. Oh, sorry. I know I'm probably going on a bit of a tangent here, but I'm also coming around full circle. I'm taking a jug handle in New Jersey. People in New Jersey will get that, like you, Druid.
Get out of Staten Island, for fuck's sake. Get out of fucking Staten Island.
My home borough.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I know. It's fucking crazy. Someone that actually has a thought in their fucking head that lives in that area. By the way, if you don't have to click follow, if you live in Staten Island, it's understandable.
Have you got the number of Tony Soprano's therapist?
Kind of, a little bit. But, and talking about feeling good about yourself, and I've brought this up on stream a couple times because I personally can't stand it, is Twitter. Mm-hmm. Not Twitter itself, but the fact of the matter of the amount of cleavage or boobage that is on Twitter. Uh-huh. Do you know where I'm going with this, Ginger?
I have a feeling I know exactly where you're going, and
Well, I already said what it is Twitter is, it's just, the fact of the matter is, I've got a G90, G933 mouse from Logitech, not a sponsor. And there's a little button that I can click so that the mouse wheel freely spins on its own. Mm-hmm. I cannot do that because if I speed through Twitter, the amount of cleavage will create a crease in my monitor that will split it in half.
Yeah.
I am all for somebody feeling good about their body. I'm all for what people possibly don't want to give a good experience or something along those lines, but it is oddly enough not something I can't believe I'm going to say this, but something that I don't necessarily want shoved down my fucking throat.
Right. Well, so
feel free to edit.
So hard right now.
I know, God. I could feel that rug right now. Can you feel it?
Well, I'm surprised you didn't hear it on the microphone. Just that, like, you know what I mean? Like testing. Oh, fuck. There he is. Thank you, Exodus.
Another desk with an indent from the bottom.
Uh-huh. Well,
it's a borehole bomb.
As a woman who has never been conventionally attractive, like, I'm comfortable in myself and how I look and, you know, everything. Like, do I want to lose some weight? Yeah. Is it because I feel vain about it? No. I just want to be healthier. Like, I want to get back into running because I actually like fucking running. And I just want to be healthier for me. I will never be Twitch thought skinny with the big old titties and the tiny waist and the no ass. Like, that's not gonna be me. And I accepted that a long fucking time ago. And if you're confident in your body and you feel good about your body, go off, sis. But remember that there are people
Prices
who
that
just
you pay.
don't give a fuck. Like... And yeah, fine. And I applaud any woman who, you know, sets up an OnlyFans and feels good about themselves and they do that. Fine, whatever. You do you, boo-boo. That's not for me, but the Amarants and the Alinities of the world. I'm sorry. The whole hot tub fucking meta on Twitch, it was basically...
I don't know who you're talking about, and I am not subscribed, and I do not like the insinuation.
You know, I again feel like I'm like fucking reading hieroglyphs. What the fuck are you talking about?
So there were girls on Twitch who
are
still,
yeah,
but they would wear. So Twitch's TOS was that you couldn't be in your underwear and bra, but there was nothing against wearing a bikini or bathing suits, as long as the finer points of the bits were covered. Well, what these girls were doing was they were doing hot tub streams where they'd sit in a hot tub or a kiddie pool in a bikini, and if you donated like 5 or like 25 gift subs, I saw on one of them, they would go off screen and change to a more revealing bikini.
which is the only stream that Calgore had a camera.
And like,
he's gonna fucking hate me.
It's morphin' time.
But it's one of those things where it's like, okay, you know, fine. If that's how you choose to make your money, fine. I don't care. But on Twitter, on Facebook, on Twitch, on YouTube, there are sites designed for content like that.
I mean, Pornhub. See the big deep cut circle back around.
We brought it right
Start
back
the
around.
chimes. Yes, we did. But
like,
and my big and I'm sorry, but my big take on it is that if you're gonna go ahead and do things like that, life, I hate to tell most people, is a fucking war. You can enjoy yourself, but when you start giving aspects of yourself like that out, there's
no taking it back.
There's a price that you pay.
Yeah.
And creepers and everything else like that, like Amaranth who that you wind up going ahead, and I can hear Druid knowledge. I recognize the keyboard sounds. He's typing AMR.
Amaranth Titty Pics Spring Break 2022.
Backspace OUR.
Yeah,
But
Hot Tub Fun 2022 Twitch. Oh wait, sorry, this isn't Google. Oh fuck.
And you got a summer worth of self-love there. I mean, the fact of the matter is that I just it's taking away. I'm not a fucking Puritan or a Quaker or anything else that people are going to start putting me in the fucking category of, but it's rough. It's like I literally I will scroll through and all of a sudden there will be that picture and I'm like, yes, but it's like, don't you have any fucking respect at that point? And it's not just that one picture, and then once I go ahead and click on them, and then I click and I find their OnlyFans, and then I wake up after a short nap because I'm comfortably sleeping, and then I look again, and no, yeah, thank you, Druid.
Uh-huh.
No, but it's numbing, and the fact of the matter is, at the same time, I just feel like they should have a little bit more self-respect for him. I guess that's what I'm trying to say.
Well, I've been quietly biting my tongue for some time now. Not because I'm like
I know I saw the dent on the bottom of your desk.
I'm not, it's not, you know. And by the way, listeners at home, you should have faith in the fact that I'm not some bonerific fucking creep by now. But thank you for not including me in your got a grip on reality conversation, Ginger. B, not that, and I'm not saying I agree or disagree with what you're saying, but I think it's the symptom of a larger problem that social media presents, right? And I noticed this through, I've worked in education for many years now, and I see new generations come up and what they prioritize and what they think. Here's the thing. I think everything that we're talking about is encompassed in this larger problem where we need to address the fact that, and I kind of half said it earlier, you're not the most important person in the world right now, guys. And it's nice to feel all eyes on you for a short period of time when you're in the hot tub and you got your little jingly janglies out and you're playing Elden Ring poorly.
Wow, thank you for visiting my OnlyFans, by the way.
You're playing Elden Ring poorly to a barrage of people that masturbate over you and pretend they don't. Mm-hmm. But there's this larger encompassing problem there, and it comes under the guise of fast entertainment, fast and easy. And we live in such a time where TikTok prevails and all these different things prevail. Even the nature of photography is something that we talked about earlier. If you think about the thing of analog moving to digital, the tactile nature of reality begins to change when it goes online, right? Mm-hmm. And things that would be left out for a photograph for example, something that might have lasted 200 years after your death, and it might have been passed down through generations. That photograph now changes because you might lose all those memories through time as you get a new phone and you don't keep your pictures and everything. But then we have this sucker punch coming from fast entertainment, and so many people get so notorious so quickly for so little time on so little effort that in fact that we have people that don't have attention spans to look at larger pieces of discourse, culture, mm-hmm. and art, but instead are spoon-fed these fucking ideas and concepts in pill form and entertainment in pill form, and they see that it's really easy to get a piece of that that pie themselves. And what you do is that you replicate a load of babies that can't sit in their barber chair for more than 20 minutes without looking at like fucking H3X. Yeah, OnlyFans. I was going to go for I was going to go for Smosh.
Or you're talking about the babies on a tablet.
Right.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is that you've got this reproduction of fast entertainment and fast ideas, where anyone that is blessed by the all-powerful hand of the algorithm could have their moment in the sun, right?
Mm-hmm.
But then the fallout of that I see in younger generations is, and I work with them closely, is that they, not that understanding your own insignificance is the heart of piety in everything that you do and makes you a virtuous person, but I actually think that there's a juxtaposition there. Everyone thinks that they're the most important person in the universe, and this goes on to like opinions. Your Facebook aunt all of a sudden has become a sociology major
Right.
because she's read something on like Zergnet.com about celebrity earnings, and all of a sudden she knows that fucking Epstein didn't kill himself and all this and all that, and what you get is this like reproducing factor of people becoming inept and ill-informed social critics, and everyone all of a sudden has become a social critic, and within that is the hot tub stream, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where you are the center of some kind of universe for some time to some people, and it's relatively insignificant, right? But that becomes the biggest thing in the world. And one person succeeds at it, they see it, and it's easy information, they see that succeeding, and it comes to them easy, so they replicate that. And so, it's almost like a micro management of culture, because culture's become something that can fit 1,000 times through the eye of a needle.
Mm-hmm.
And this idea of like, even in pornography, right? We were joking about Pornhub, but I had a thing just today in the school that I work at. In the youngest group of students that I teach, so these kids are like 12, 13 years old, and there was one kid's birthday in the class, his 13th birthday, and he goes to me, and excuse my French here, and anyone that's listened will know that I teach the unsavory members of society, so it's not representative, but he goes to me, Mike, I'm going to get myself a Latino big ass bitch for my birthday. I'm like, what? That kind of language wouldn't fucking echo out of anyone's mouth pre this sensation of like overstimulation and unpreparedness for coming with this like fast gratification. Please stop me. Please stop me, someone.
No, so I'm.
No, I mean, Jesus Christ. I mean, you fucking borrowed Neil deGrasse Tyson's fucking brain right there. That was the longest harangue that I've heard you go on. I fucking loved it.
Well, so.
I'll take it.
You hit every point that we made throughout this entire fucking cast so far.
Well, and I made the agreement and the deal that I would not divulge too much about the show, but I recently went to a tour show from a very popular YouTuber who runs in the gaming Let's Play sphere. He's a Twitch streamer. Like, we're talking multi-million subscribers on YouTube, sits anywhere between 1,500 to 2,000 subs on Twitch. Like, dude's got a big following. And he just did a touring show. He's actually, at time of recording, he's done the first 2 shows of the second leg of the tour. But one thing he talks about in the tour that he drops hints about throughout the entire thing is, do not become an influencer, a content creator. Don't do it. Don't trust influencers and content creators and YouTubers and streamers, because most of the time, if they're big and successful, they're not 100% who they make themselves out to be.
Mhm.
And
echoed by the fact that their content becomes, as soon as they hit their zenith of success, those content creators fall off the fucking wagon like 9 times out of 10.
well, and this guy has been a YouTuber for 10 years. And he talks so much about, not trusting YouTubers and doing all these things. And he did one thing for one video that's been deleted, but everybody fucking talks to him about that thing that he did. And everybody is constantly making jokes about it. And fine, but that's going to follow him forever. He's been making YouTube videos since he was 15, meaning he's 25 now. And he will never be able to sit down and have an office day job after being a full-time content creator because of some of the things that are out there on the internet. And
that's true.
The thing that I will say is I think in the group of streamers that have been around my community, whether they're Fatal, you have your own community. Lou has his own. Adsy has their own. Like, everybody has their own community, but I feel like pretty much everybody we have on is pretty real and true to who they are when you talk to them on and off screen. There's not many of us who...
There's not a present or a... what's the word I'm looking for? That false front.
We're not faking it. We're not masking who we actually are. We're very real.
I think it's the beauty of the format, though, that we talk for so long that even if you were duplicitous in that way, we're gonna fucking get you and guess questions, bruh.
Yeah.
I'm gonna snipe those fuckers out.
But I don't think we really have any of that. I think everybody is pretty authentically who they are. And we all have to keep some things for ourselves. We have to, because if you don't, you're just fucking unhappy. But like, I'm pretty open and honest about shit that goes on in my life and about my job and different shit. But that's different, where Fatal is more about the game that's actually being played. But if I say, hey, Fatal, how are you doing today? I'm not going to get...
Thank you.
Yeah. I'm not going to get a fucking lie about, everything is 100% hunky-dory, peachy keen. If it's not a good day, he's going to say, and it's been kind of a shit day. And he doesn't need to elaborate on it, but he can if he wants. Like, it's... But that is... Fatal.
You always time me out for 600 seconds.
I don't do shit. But it's, if I drop Fatal a message and say, hey, Fatal, how you doing? He's either going to tell me or he's not, but he's not going to lie. He's not going to put up a face. He's not going to put up a front. He's going to be himself in that reply.
So, transparency.
Yes. And...
I'm just thinking about the Wisecrack YouTube video about this podcast where they say that philosophically, the mandate, the job of the GingerTalks podcast is to remind everyone we're all individuals and we're all together and we're a big community.
I mean...
And we're growing.
We are. But it's... And thinking about big fucking creators... Because we all have our experiences with larger creators where we can, pop into chat and they know who we are, or we talk to them on a personal level. Like, we all know that, at least I think, that you get to a certain point and you have to start shielding and hiding more of that. And it's fucking miserable to fucking do that shit.
If I could, I did that long tirade not that long ago, but if I could make a caveat to the whole points being made here, it would be this. And I've made this point on the podcast before, 100%. But, think about, if you look at the Oxford English Dictionary and you look at the definition of the word content, right? and you go and you think and understand what that means, you understand that what content is now is what we would call culture in the past. And then you think about how the nature of how we pass on ideas have changed. This kind of mimetic desire has changed over the years. You begin to realize when you think about the definition of media and culture being renamed content, there's a philosophical implication that changes the nature of reproducing ideas and reproducing artistic ideas and reproducing creative thought. And then that, under the guise of content, that becomes something that is a commodity rather than a principle.
Yeah.
And that's my mic drop moment.
Yeah. It's fucking wild. What I will say, though, kind of, being authentic, one thing is that I know that I noticed with Fatal there for a while is there were times when, Fatal had done the whole, bright.
I'm still here.
Bright light on the face. I know. Bright light on the face, doing the whole streamer thing where everybody can fucking see every detail of your face. But you started turning off your face light and stuff because it was giving you migraines, if I remember right.
Yes.
And I haven't seen you turn on. You do this thing that I absolutely love, where there's a little bit of light behind you on the wall, and then we don't see a whole lot of your face. It's just very dark.
Yeah, no, I got those messages from you. Said it was very sexy. And then she had to buy another keyboard.
Hey, is that Ryan Gosling in Drive?
I look like Kevin Bacon and Jim Carrey had a fucking kid, and I'm not going to fucking kid about that whatsoever. But one of the things I realized that the lights I used to have behind my desk very haphazardly. I had 2 lights that were set up at the very beginning of streaming, and then I actually put pieces of paper over the lights because I'm like, I need less light. It is killing my eyes. And then finally, I got rid of the fucking lights. I have one room light, a fucking standing lamp over in the far corner of my room, which is probably about 8 feet from me or so. I can't take the light in my eyes any longer. I made it a channel point routine for me to relax my eyes because I will feel, especially playing games like Hunt, which is a dumpster fire right now. I had to do it. I got the accent light in the back. I thought it was a nice touch. It adds a little bit of color. Give some people, something to focus on without it having to be in my face. Again, the content for me was the main thing, along with the bullshit that we're talking about.
Right.
I mean, but for my personal needs were to limit the amount of light that was in front of me. And again, Hunt being one of the main games that I used to stream. And not to go off on a tangent, but fuck it, you gave me the wheel. Speaking about transparency, and speaking about the fact that the Benadryl was wearing off, and to speak about Ginger's OnlyFans, is that Hunt... Hey, listen, you want to find out? You got to go pay.
Can I just say the Benadryl's just kicking in a second gear, I think. Fuck it.
All right, fair enough. We'll see where this fucking card takes us.
Apparently I'm writing a fucking book.
No. You're good. Where are we going and why are we in this handbasket? But one of the things I would like to talk about is we're talking about transparency. We're talking about bureaucracy. We're talking about people not putting up a false front. Is a game like Hunt from Crytek or using their CryEngine, which is going down the line. Right now, their game compared to when going way back in the day, it was actually Calgor, Lou, and then Ginger shortly thereafter that we played a fair amount of it. this game has turned into a colossal dumpster fire. I still will pick it up and play it time to time because some of the servers react nicely, but Druid, I don't know if you've seen any of the hunt streams, whether it be mine or anybody else's.
I have.
Okay. Have you seen any gripes with it or people making comments about rubber banding or shit like that?
So I think I was still there during that kind of grace period, right? Where it was just like burning spiders.
Yeah.
When you say grace period, do you mean like it was a good time or a bad time?
Oh yeah, good time. Good time.
Okay. As far as a good time, the fact of the matter is like the servers have become absolute shit. Part of the assumptions that have went around on Reddit is the fact of the matter that they have a contract with the people that provide the servers for X amount of time, so the servers are actually the ones having issues, not as much fun. But right now the game is unplayable. Like I am taking shots in the game. It's one of the games that is. I remember when I first started playing the game. I was a wee lad of about a year ago, and and it was there were still problems. I was not keen on it at that point, but it wasn't as rampant by any means. And since then, shots that are not hitting and everything else. Sorry, digressing again to what I was saying was the fact of the matter that the game was beautiful. It is a beautiful game. It was more beautiful in the past, and before I played it, if you look at the pre-release, the game was fucking unbelievable PS6 graphic quality. That's not a thing, but they were fucking doing it. And I feel like a lot of gaming companies, and sorry if I keep going back to gaming, but I figure this is kind of what it spawned from. Ultimately is you have various games. You have back in the day, you have No Man's Sky, where the actual lead developer, the lead head honcho of the game basically almost had to go into hiding because of the people. And you're like, it's a game. Yeah, but people that are playing, they're actually spending money that want to play a game. They are looking for a product, and when you make all these promises as far as what the game is going to be, and then you don't deliver, there is no governmental institution to actually go ahead and bear arms against this company, really. Right. But you have No Man's Sky, Cyberpunk, which Ginger Snaps did a voice in. That's not an actual fact, but facts brought to you by Fatal may not be actual facts. You have No Man's Sky, Cyberpunk, New World, and then you're leading in. Hunt is starting to go down this downward spiral rabbit hole. That is, it's toxic for the gaming community. Yeah. And it sucks in the end because people that definitely put their hope or have put work into a game, it's very disillusioning. It completely removes and shows the fact that it was illusions of grandeur for a game. And I'm hoping, in the case of Hunt, that their future patches do improve the gameplay. But there is nothing that is going ahead and reinforcing these people have liability, that they are. It's what you were saying before, as far as people that are just like, hey, everything's great, versus, yeah, it's kind of a shitty day this happened. You know, just that human element. And you have other games that are out there. People could wind up taking a look at games like Chronicles of Illyria or Star Citizen, which games I have not played, but I have followed because I've had that hesitation. They look like good games. Chronicles of Illyria never actually got produced. Trust me, it is a fucking Walking Dead 11 seasons in a 30 to maybe 60-minute video that you could wind up watching on the internet.
Oh, wow.
Chronicles of Illyrio was a game that got kickstarted for over $8 million. I'll let that sit in.
Ooh.
Doctor Evil, everybody.
Yes.
Fuck, man.
$8 million.
Frau Verbissina. But I want for the gaming community, which a lot, again, sorry, but the podcast spawned from Twitch with gaming, things like that.
Yeah.
So giving some homage, I want some kind of liability for these game producers that if they make a promise come through. New World had Streamer Spotlight where they said when the game is released, you're going to be able to show by your name that is floating over your head that you're streaming at that time. Nothing ever happened with that. Cyberpunk, which I still to this day remember.
Can of worms.
Can of worms. It has gotten better.
That's what I've heard.
It's gotten much better. I actually bought it and downloaded about 2 months ago, which is, about 14 months or so, somewhere around there, approximately after it was released.
I'm going to let you in on a little secret.
You're not wearing any pants?
I liked it.
When it was released or recently?
Oh, yeah, I had no... look, come on. I've barely played a video game since Vietnam, right? and come on, man. I just expected Cyberpunk to be absolute ass to run. I expected it to be like Fallout 3, and that's exactly what I got. But I think to tap into what you're saying, Fatal, what I think we as consumers shouldn't be accepting is this whole fucking work in progress shit that we're getting.
Yeah.
Why are we paying $60 for broken works in progress just under the promise that they can make it better over time?
Right.
It's if you went to Best Buy and you bought I don't even know what the fuck they sell at Best Buy.
I know where you're going with it.
But if you bought a fucking cell phone from the store and the fucking thing was half done and they said in a year this will work in the way that we promised you work.
Right.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, I'm well, that's me.
No, I'm right there with you. I mean, let's even go back to what you were starting to say and where my brain went off on a parallel off street, a service road. Is the fact of the matter that when you went in and you bought a game at a store, it had to be complete. There was no download. There was no DLC. There were no patches. It had to be fucking playable.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's a failing because of how much technology at the same time is out there that, okay, we could patch this later. Let's get it out there and get the money now. Well, fuck you. And this is a podcast, so you can't see me holding up my finger as I am actually doing. But let's go back to a game like Final Fantasy VII. It was, and take this as you will, it was a phenomenal game.
Yeah.
It was thank you, Ginger. It was a phenomenal game, and the fact of the matter is,
didn't know you worked on it, but I'm glad you did.
It was great.
Yeah.
It was great. I loved every second. But there are all these hidden little nuggets of information on that disc that they actually kept in the programming. And again, look this up on YouTube. There is shit that you can find that was stricken from the main gameplay unless you take certain course of events that were so, again, esoteric, that were so hidden that unless you did this little process, Easter egg, really, when it comes down to it. But it was a playable game. Trust me, I played the Final Fantasy VII the first time. I had no idea what the fuck the storyline was about.
Yeah.
I had no clue. I had to play it a second time to really absorb it. I was like, "Oh, I got it. I got it. Okay, cool." And then I put it in the 4-disc CD holder, and I was like, "I'll get back to that later."
A Midgar sounds like a communist manifesto to me.
Midgard sounds like you got to protect your waist.
Well, and looking at it from like everybody is like, oh, why aren't you jumping in on this new world? Why aren't you playing New World? Because I don't like games like that. They're not my style. I'm not knocking you for playing it, but it's not my style. It's not my thing. I'm not going to spend $60 on a game that I'm not going to fucking play. But then
Yeah.
I knew that it was going to be a buggy piece of shit because they advertised
All right, call
it
me out like that.
so, I mean, it's what I do. Like the way they marketed it so fucking hard and all those promises and all those things, I'm very much in the headspace now where it's like, okay, you're saying all of this. Okay, when are you going to fucking deliver? Because it's not going to be at launch. But we're so in the, I'm playing this game and it's early access, and so they're adding new this and they're doing new of that. And it's grown in the wake of YouTube and, YouTubers and streamers who play a game when it's very early on and they're making all this content about it and they're showing off this game and they're playing it and they're giving it a shot. And then they don't like it's
Can I finish your thought right there for you?
Yes.
Okay. It almost feels like the big content creators on Twitch or otherwise, YouTube, what have you, is some of what is at fault for the gaming market that it is today, because they wind up hyping up this game that is coming out, but it is not finished, and then they move on when you're left in the ashes.
Especially when they're playing a game that's not completed, and then they go back and they play it again when it's completed, and then they just don't. We're so used to seeing things that are unfinished because of that people just willingly accept, oh, this isn't done, but here it is. We promised you a date. Here it is. And like the game design industry is a fucking shit show.
Right now, especially. It was better in its infancy, toddler, maybe early teens. But we are in the emo state of gaming at 18 and confused.
Well, because
you had to be such a fucking nerd before and had to know what you're talking about. And now, like...
Yes.
I'm sat here doing a gaming podcast. I haven't played fucking video game in over a year. And I'm sat here in a T pose, fucking, like, suggesting that programmers are wrong. But, like, what, like, again, it's just too easy. It's too easy. Bring back the fucking nerds, because they'll do it right. There's one thing about fucking nerds, they'll do it right. And then, but it's almost the biggest shame of the things that we love as absolute fucking geeks is that nerd culture has won.
Yeah.
Yes.
And therefore it becomes like a commodity and fucking easygoing, and the quality control fucking dips. Nerd culture is one, and this is the fucking ground zero of that. Sociological bomb.
You're talking about bringing it back to an age of innocence.
Well, innocence, right? Because apparently now I'm fucking William Wordsworth. But no, what I'm saying is that like gaming is the biggest entertainment industry in the world. There's no question in that. Bigger than movies, bigger than books, bigger than TV. And with that, as people that have like been gamers, like and I'm making this like because of our ages, I'm making like an assumption here that we've been playing games since we were like children. I remember my only like console being like a Genesis, right? And
Yes, I was there with you.
yeah, and 2D graphics, and that was a different ballpark, right? You were a fucking weirdo for being into that shit, and you had to be like hyper focused into every facet of that. But then it's the same as anything in the big budget, big fucking conglomerate ideas come with like pitfalls of like a lacking quality in some places. In movies, it's story and plot coherence. In books, it's the death of books.
Right.
In music, it's like I don't know, fucking Justin Bieber, I guess. I don't know. It's all these things, and in gaming, it manifests itself in and streaming is to blame. I agree with what you said. Like this idea that the video game personalities are driving the industry more so than people that are in love with creating the product, right? And that safety net of the product being able to fix later on. So what you get is that a load of people that are casual gamers and maybe are flunking college, right? And they get into a video game course and they get into like a gaming development studio, and they're not fucking nerds anymore. And this is the fallout of like our culture winning, right? Is that when it gets sold to the layman, the common man, you end up with like a product that it has. Not that people don't love it, and I'm not saying that people don't love their video games, and they obviously do the world over. But when you get that level of like casual play in there and like casual interest in things, then the quality is going to drop. I'm sorry, but that's just how it goes.
Yeah.
And it started with Sheldon Cooper wearing a Green Lantern shirt, like, and it ends in like a clusterfuck of ideas and half-finished fucking games being sold to you by people that don't give a fuck about your interest.
Yeah.
And like, don't think that these developers give a shit about what you think, because obviously they don't.
No, not big devs. In my foray into streaming, I've actually had some devs, who like I've tweeted like, "Hey, we're playing this game," and I have tagged the studio, and I actually get responses, I get reactions, I get feedback, which is super cool. But big fucking dev studios, no, they're all fucking heartless corporations at that point. And it's like, ugh, whatever, man. Like,
Money.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna paint a scene for you guys, right? So imagine this.
Is this body paint?
I mean, if you want it to be,
I do. I really
like,
do.
some kind of like backroom Avatar 2 shit, like where I'm just sucking off James Cameron. But
oh god, I got the coconut already. Go ahead.
Balm yourself. No. Picture the scene. You're Todd Howard, right, of Bethesda Games, hot on the heels of hit RPG titles, Fallout 3, and you made some money off Fallout New Vegas. And then, all of a sudden, you're on Facebook one day, Todd Howard, and you see a Facebook-sponsored ad for the brand Hims. What's Hims? Todd Howard says. He clicks on the link and realizes it's a small capsule that if you ingest and put into your digestive tract, then you might be able to start to begin to get an erection.
It's happening.
Todd Howard gets that erection. He realizes that he is the CEO of Bethesda Games. He goes out to E3 on the floor, and he's like a rock star. He's the carrot top of the Matrix Code, he gets up there with his fucking full-powered shaft in hand and delivers Fallout 76 because his success has ruined him.
Yeah.
So I
my
want
God.
to clarify something for the gaming community. What was your take on Fallout 3? Did you enjoy it, Druid?
Well, at the time it came out, yeah. But Fallout New Vegas made an absolute mockery of it. So it's like we had... When we got Fallout 3, it was like, fuck, that's amazing. And then when you get New Vegas, it kind of showcases the pitfalls in that. But I would like, no matter how many 4.5-hour YouTube fucking analysis videos you've watched, when you first booted up Fallout 3, did you enjoy it?
I did. And the major reason being it going from an isometric game to 3D.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And there was a lot of enjoyable. I feel like it was kind of an homage to old games and also an homage to the craptastic games to come.
Mm.
And how do you feel about Todd Howard's chemically induced boner?
Sorry, I couldn't talk at the moment. I was gagging.
His mouth. Sorry, Fatal Exodus's mouth was full there.
I was at a lack for words. Todd Howard, I would clarify, I'm not familiar with by name. I would say at the time that Fallout 3, I was not into the drama of the gaming world. And right. I would say I've only come to within the past couple of years with the different things that have come. And by the way, can we make also a shout out for Meep? Because if I don't make out a shout out for Meepits, man, I'm going to get a lot of fucking nasty DMs. I know that she has been on the podcast before as well. And no, she didn't DM me right now. But if I don't do it, I just got to, cover my ass real quick. But Todd Howard, who oddly enough is the actual, I'm doxing, but that is Meepits Mana. I thought that and again, it kind of gives me an idea of where you're standing. It's why I'm asking, of course. And Fallout 3, I thought was very good for what it was. It was good. Fallout 4 was a heaping pile of dog shit. Again, it was good to a degree, and then once you got past the fun of blasting guns, you realize there was not a lot to the game itself. Ginger, did you play Fallout 4?
No, so I've never actually completed a Fallout game.
All right, and just mute yourself.
Wow. No, I played a good chunk of Fallout 3, and I played the beginning of New Vegas.
Hey, all right. Well, I take back what I said.
But I didn't. So I'd never completed a Fallout game, but I'm very familiar with them, and I didn't beat until I started streaming. I didn't beat very many video games. I didn't play a whole lot of video games because I didn't have the equipment to, or I didn't have the money. I had always absorbed YouTube and Twitch content to get my fix of video games.
Well, I mean, gaming itself is a luxury when it really comes down to it. It's not a necessity by any means. So, I mean, like, let's have Robin Leach come around the corner like fucking Chris Hansen. I mean...
Second time in 2 episodes, Chris Hansen's got a shout out. Friend of the
really?
Friend of the podcast, Chris Hansen. Why don't you take
Chris Hansen? Fuck
if you're listening,
Chris Hansen.
If you're listening, why don't you take a seat?
I look at the Fallout franchise the same way I kind of have felt about the Resident Evil franchise. Resident Evil, first couple games, did their thing. They introduced a really good story, some really good characters. They introduced a lot. And did good. You know, everybody says Resident Evil 4 is the peak, and then 5 and 6 went downhill, and people were ready to right. They wanted to just write off that Resi 7 was going to be dog shit, but Resi 7 resurrected Resident Evil. And then RE8 was one of those games that came out that was completed. It was polished. There were not major glitches. You could play the entire fucking game and not run into a single glitch or error. And you could enjoy it. Unlike your Cyberpunks, unlike your New Worlds out there. Resident Evil 8 was one of those games where they delivered what they fucking promised. And it was a beautiful game. It was great.
And at the same... So when was Resident Evil 8? I believe that was the one that you were talking about. Mm-hmm. When was that actually released?
So RE8 was released...
RE8. Now we're going abbreviations. I'm fucking out of her.
May 7th, 2021.
Okay.
It was released during the pandemic. The Metacritic score is an 83%. GameStop gave it a 4.6 out of 5. 96% of Google users liked this video game. Like, a phenomenal game.
This was Village.
Yeah.
I'm used to it by Village.
Oh, okay.
Not the 8 nomenclature. Yes, and I would agree with that. I've seen everyone that has played with, that has streamed, people that I know from the community that has played it, of course, off stream because I don't stream, that they've enjoyed it. It seemed like it was a pretty good homage to, and almost a little bit of a, again, tangent to the, or fuck it, make up your own word, segue to the conventional Resident Evil anthology.
Right.
And it seemed like it was a finished game. And to add to that, another game that came out recently, which was Elden Ring. Mm-hmm. Which I don't know if anybody here has played. Show of hands.
It's not my type of game.
Fair game. Elden Ring, for what it's worth, very hardcore game. Mm-hmm. I know that there's a lot of shit that is spoken about with Elden Ring that should have different modes for, and you will read about this, how it should have easier modes for people, even with disability. And I understand I'm not even going to touch that subject because I don't have anything to say about it. The game for me was very good. Did I play all the way through it? No. Going back to Ginger about 2 hours ago telling me how fucking busy I am, and she's fucking right. But I did enjoy a lot of Elden Ring. It's a beautiful game. That game has grossed over $1 billion. Mm-hmm. Let me say that again, $1 billion for a game. One game.
$1 billion.
And Ginger's been waiting for this, but...
Hey, there it is.
There.
Mini me, stop humping the playthrough.
Well,
he's a biter.
But what I was getting at, though, is Elden Ring is a finished game. Elden Ring was a finished game when it came out. There might have been a few minor patches, but it doesn't need a Project Health huge quality of life update. There's games that have come out and that have been polished, and they're wonderful games, and they did beautifully. And I think Fallout is hitting a point where most game series, when you have a series like that, there's a game that just signals the death cry. And Fallout 76 was the death cry for that franchise, I think.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, and oddly enough, I've been seeing more people playing that recently than ever before because they finally caught up. Now, they released, I want to say it was mid to late 2020? Am I wrong with that?
76 has been out for a hot minute.
I wouldn't want to give details on when it came out, but I mean, like, they're like...
Fuck it, fine, I will.
2018.
Oh, Jesus.
Let's just, like, patch it into success like it's, like, fucking Frankenstein, right?
It's looking at... So I just Googled...
The self-made man.
Yeah. I Googled Fallout 76, and I get the ad. First top result is the ad for Fallout 76 through Bethesda.net. And then the actual game page and another page, all linking directly to Bethesda. But then it says, people also ask, is Fallout 76 worth buying? Is Fallout 76 still free? Is Fallout 76 decent yet?
So I'm seeing that the actual release date, like the full release, was actually April 14, 2020.
So
the early access when anybody could play was the 2018, and correct me if I'm wrong on that. And yes, I think this goes back into what I was starting to pander to some of the crowd about, was about game companies releasing shit before it is done. Done. Like, literally, you could sit there and go, after I'll give them credit, 4 hours going, oh, that was weird. That's it. I remember that growing up. Like, oh, that was a little weird. That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. I'm sorry. That's all I got to say on that. I that whole lack of liability, and what had you looking up Fallout 76, or why did that come to mind?
I just was curious of when it was released. I have this thing where I quickly will just pop into Google and type in something to make sure that I have information correct when I spout it.
All right, well, I'm fucking wrong then.
No, you're good.
I for what it's worth, I'm looking at Steam, and Steam says the full release was April 14, 2020, like the full on release of it. I don't know if that is correct. It's the first thing. Last thing I knew, Jesus and Elvis are still living in a small cottage in North Dakota, but I looked that up with that terminology, so give it to the fucking internet for being a winner. Well, Ginger.
We're so used to getting early access to games that they just put the release of the game, which was the early access if you pre-ordered it, was 2018.
Oh, all right.
So that's what it was. You could get access to the game in 2018 if you pre-purchased it, and it was supposed to be fully done, fully out within 2019, and then it was such dog shit when people got access to it that it took them so long to do a quote-unquote full release of the game.
Well, and that goes back to what I was talking about with Chronicles of Illyria. Another game that you could look up if you're not familiar. Some people will go, "Oh, of course it is." But Star Citizen is still a game that was crowdfunded for release and still is barely. Some people like it. Cool. Whatever. If it floats your boat, I will help you inflate it.
Right.
But as far, I mean, unless it's wood, then you can't inflate wood, unless you blow real hard.
Oh my.
But Chronicles of Illyria, Elyria. It is a fucking trip to read about what happened with that game studio, and it is still pending release for 2024 after having a class action lawsuit brought against it. Fallout 76 and all of these other games, you're destroying the gaming market, therefore you are destroying yourselves, because you will not have any kind of market to pander to anymore if you continue doing this. That's my TED Talk, yet again.
Well, but you can crowdfund amazing games. You can absolutely do that, because Cuphead, which is not my typical type of game, but I would love to play it because the art style is beautiful. The music is beautiful. They did such a good job with that game, but
Yes.
Yeah, but if
Cuphead
you
was
look
all crowdsourced.
And
you
I
look-
do really like the sequel to Players One Cuphead.
God damn it.
Sorry, go ahead, Druid.
well, I was just saying, if you look into Cuphead, it's fucking nerds making it because they love being nerds. It's not like a pandering fucking.
Yeah.
Right.
You know.
As much as I have enjoyed, like, because I love waxing philosophical about gaming industry and stuff like that. I say we move on to the next kind of segment that we have. Druid, did you get some anonymous?
Yeah, bring it. I'll knock all these motherfuckers down. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, I actually did, and I'm really impressed that people seem to have really fucking connected with this segment because I have got
Thank you.
1, 2, 3, 4,
Oh wow.
and we
Out of
only,
how many people?
well, we only did our last one maybe 2 days ago,
Yeah.
and only one episode has aired with the notification that we even do this. So who the fuck are you that's sending this? I don't understand.
Well, I personally don't like your counting because I sent in 5 questions personally. I'm just no, I'm kidding.
I deleted all 5. It's like, hey, my name's Fatal Exodus. I'm a young man, and
Hi, my name is Exodus Fatal, and I wanted to know.
what happens when I put all my Exodus in one basket? Okay.
We go to hell.
So we've started a new segment that is dating advice, basically. Anonymous dating advice. So you can submit your questions anonymously, and we will give our fucking responses to it.
Yeah, hot takes, hot shakes.
This is
my.
legitimate dating advice.
Yeah.
We've
All
had-
right, well.
we've had 2 episodes of this, and they can get a little bit fucking weird. Alright, so I've had in no idea who sent this. This is like I don't know what to say about this, so I'm just going to read it out. Say, hypothetically, that I'm the Greek god Zeus, and that I hypothetically banged every single living thing aside from my wife Hera, hypothetically. How should I, hypothetically, go about telling her and fixing this? Purely hypothetical, of course. That's our first.
Wow. Ginger, you take this one first.
Yo, fam, what did I say last time? Honesty is key, baby.
I mean, honesty, hypothetically, of course.
I mean, yeah, hypothetically.
Oh, great.
Me? I mean, I would tell her, I would give her a kitchen knife and tell her to make it even, if you see so fit, I've gotten my fill, you could put my dick in your purse. The balls I need, if I don't have the click-clack, I'm going to feel weird when I'm walking.
I don't know if that's how you address a Greek god, first. Hypothetically speaking.
Hypothetically.
Well, Greek gods have balls and penis, right?
With your hypothetical balls. Hypothetically.
I mean, were we going for a legitimate answer, or
is this real? Is this like a metaphor? And like this isn't.
Oh, you mean like it's hidden between the lines type thing?
I mean,
if you're referring to yourself as Zeus, then you need to like lay off the fucking testosterone first.
Yeah.
I mean, I would tell my wife she might want to get tested also. Just on the safe side of shit.
Like I've had sex with like half of Athens. Aristotle can't walk. Hypothetically speaking, anyway.
Right. I mean, going back to the old baby's arm holding an apple. Yes. Yeah.
My response to this is just a mere Grecian wave. Because I just don't believe that this is real.
Oh yeah, no.
If you've banged every single living thing aside from your wife, get a lawyer and get a divorce.
Yeah.
Yeah, and just take the honorable way out, or you could say it's not me, it's you.
I mean,
it's you, Hera. I've banged everyone, and you're the worst.
I mean, it's you, Harry. Your legs are like an iron bear trap. I mean, it's like if you showed me a little bit of attention, I wouldn't have to do that in the first place. I'm just saying.
you.
Yeah, I know. I want to take it there.
But I mean, if this is a real question hidden in a hypothetical, bruh, just fucking get out of there, man. Like, my God. If it's just...
You deserve better than that and all that usual spiel. You've heard it before.
Yeah.
It's finally fucking listen to it.
Yeah. So if it's all hypothetical, well, I mean, then get some. I mean, fuck it, whatever.
Yeah, I'm just going to say thanks to Amber Heard's lawyer for trying to a smear campaign on the podcast.
Oh, God, no.
Oh, man. Speaking of someone that should have a smear campaign.
Fuck, man.
Think about it.
No, I don't want to.
I hate that whole thing, by the way, just because, like, I hate it. It's taking, like, something that's really private and putting it in a public light. I don't care for it.
I absolutely detest it.
And thank you.
You know, a few, even though I've referenced it and been part of the conversation, just there in a public forum. But I mean, yeah. Oh, come on. You know,
I really should move to England, by the way, because like you just like kind of like the whole like European vibe. I kind of got that mentality. I should move there. Ginger, are you coming?
Sure, fuck it.
Sorry, we're full.
Oh, I have to come visit though. So
You're allowed to. That's what the passport says.
So yeah, I mean, I guess that's. Fuck, man, I don't know. That's that question, I guess.
Thank you for writing in, Zeus, god of worlds. Glad to know the pagan gods are still instilled, and it wasn't just fucking like Doctor Strange. All right, here we go. Next one. I slept with the guy who tends at my local bar. Am I a bad person for staying with him because I'm worried I can't drink there if shit goes south? Oh my god.
Go ahead.
That's it.
Oh, well, thank you for writing in XQC, by the way.
I mean, the you know, how many people are in the Discord, Ginger? Because that's where these are all coming from. We're getting them.
No, we're not gonna go there.
We're getting them in thick and fast. Like, you know, guys, I really hope you find happiness.
Which is a double entendre to that joke, to that
Oh.
question. Excuse me. Well, you spoiled that special place that you had by making it more intimate. Move on.
It's
exactly.
the same principle as don't shit where you eat.
Yeah, I came to post exactly what I was going to say verbatim. Don't shit where you eat, and don't fuck where you drink.
Yeah. I mean...
Which I think is actually a European saying, isn't it?
I mean, I don't know, mate.
Not you personally.
I mean, we don't really fucking discuss these things on the continent, mate.
That's fair. I'm just, technically I'm off the continent, and
if I want to fuck my bartender, I'll do it in the privacy of my own home, and I won't post up about it on some fucking shitty podcast.
Listen, I'll tell you, at the end of the night, after I want a fucking shot of bourbon or fucking ouzo, if I'm really feeling, on the fucking Lower East Side. I might give him a hand job.
I mean, can I just say, ouzo is a Greek drink, therefore I'm starting to believe that you're hypothetically Zeus.
Yeah, I mean, doesn't ouzo kind of sound like a bodily discharge to begin with?
It does, and
Yeah.
oh
Oof.
God, why
I just ouzoed.
Oh, God damn it!
I think, isn't ouzo who Christian Bale's playing in Guardians of the Galaxy 3?
God damn it!
The best thing is, I know if Lou listens, he just got to giggle at that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Luzo.
Question 3.
Yeah.
Have we got any genuine advice? So we've said don't shit where you eat, and that's what we're giving that person.
Well, so here's the thing.
What?
You have to, you have to deal with the consequences of your actions. If you can be a grown-ass adult and go, you know what? I fucked you. We ain't fucking no more, so I'm still gonna come here and I'm gonna be chill. Are you gonna be chill? Like, just fucking take the adult road. Goddamn.
Well, the adult world also shows through science that the minute that you have intimacy, it actually goes and creates chemical bonds in your brain to that person. So it's kind of hard to. I'm just saying.
According to this question, just like scotch. and then you wake up the next
fuck
day.
him, then.
You fucked him. You don't want to fuck him anymore. Stop fucking him. Drink somewhere else. It's not a big deal.
Serious, like.
And also, like, what is he doing that's keeping you there? Is he like fucking throwing the bottles around like Siegfried and Roy? What's he doing?
I
mean, it is a family member that owns the bar, so that gets weird.
Well, see, so back in my stand-up comedy days, I was given the piece of advice of don't sleep with comedians. And I definitely understand why, because I slept with comedians. And the thing is even though I fucked one time a comedian, doesn't mean I'm going to see them at an open mic and go, duh, fuck, I gotta go. Like, okay, we did something that two consenting adults do. Like,
yeah.
I mean,
I would say give it time.
Yeah, I can look past it, and you can I can look past it. If they can't, that's their problem. Because I'm gonna do me. Like, but
yeah,
I also don't treat sex the way a lot of other people treat sex.
Can I also say, like, seeing a comedian's cum face must really ruin their act.
I mean, really getting a punchline? Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, like, timing is everything, brother. You should have, like, gone down there and did the old fucking...
yeah. Yeah, and that brings you back to a 15-second act. It's not going to go over well.
Yeah. What is the deal with cunnilingus?
Well, and the thing is one of the comedians actually wrote a bit about us hooking up. Didn't name me by name, no likenesses to me, nothing like that. But he made a joke, like, he wrote in a joke about something that happened while we were hooking up. And he looked at me after the mic and he was just like, hey, I hope you don't mind. And I was like, I mean, you already said it. So even if I did mind, it's, it's done. But no, I don't mind. I don't care because it's funny. And like,
wow.
Cleaned your personality up with a towel. I moved on.
You never said you interned at Leno.
Oh man.
I had sex with Ginger Snaps. Have you heard about this?
That's what they meant by Everybody Loves Raymond.
Oh.
Oh, Deborah. Don't relate to my kids. He sounds like fucking Kermit the Frog, man. You ever noticed that about Ray Romano? Deborah.
So, I mean,
Yeah, thank you for bringing that.
What was the question again, by the way, just for clarification?
It was the still
Bartender
going to the
sleeping
bar,
with?
sleeping with the bartender thing.
Uh,
Do don't feel like you can't go to the bar because of what happened, but if you don't feel comfortable going to the bar, go fucking somewhere else. You'll find a new group of people to hang out with.
You'll find your tequila sunrise.
Yes.
yeah, just don't drink.
I mean,
Stop drinking.
Yeah.
Because
Best way
he's
to-
probably, he went to community college. His car's a lease. He's living in Brooklyn. He's a piece of shit. Okay, he's a
I mean,
hipster.
if you're afraid that he's jacking off and you drink, he's probably doing it. If it is a guy,
Yeah. Okay.
and if you won't drink it, I will.
God damn it.
Yeah, I like White Russians as well.
Yeah.
Oh
okay.
my.
Was that an alien brain hemorrhage that looks like it anyway?
Ugh, yeah, it's fucking gross.
Yeah.
So anyway, we had how many
All
more
right.
do we
Yeah.
have?
2 more.
We've got 2 more. I can do one more.
Sure.
Yeah.
We've got. Okay. I feel like I should fucking take a lozenge. Okay. UK listener here.
Hello.
Oh, nice to meet you. I'm in a poly relationship, and our rule was strictly no friends, but she broke it. I don't want to break it off for one mistake because it's important to us both that we explore things sexually. I want to break the friendship, but not the relationship. Thoughts?
When you say poly relationship, do you mean VR chat?
I mean, take from it what you will. You can say, track 7 of Nirvana's Nevermind.
Fuck.
Poly
Fair.
relationship.
Wow.
Don't fuck friends. You fucked it. Oh, well,
If they broke the rules of engagement, then all goes, and really the power is in your hands, and take that as you will.
What I'm not getting is like, why are you breaking the friendship and not the relationship when it's your partner that broke the rules, right?
It comes back to, are you breaking the friendship because that's easier and less painful to deal with? Or are you truly invested in the relationship and that's what you feel is the right thing to do?
I mean, can I be candid here? It sounds like you've not got a lease with your friend on a Camaro or something that you've got with your partner, so you're like stuck with them.
Right.
Discuss those boundaries, because in a relationship like that, that's the most important thing.
And the thing is polyamorous relationships, the biggest thing with them is you have your established rules and you have your established consequences to those rules, and you have to constantly be fucking communicating about that shit. I mean, relationships, you should be communicating anyway, but poly relationships are so much more complex because you're adding in other people. Now, if it's poly in the sense that it's a throuple where it's 3 people equal in the relationship, okay. If it's poly in the fact that, your partner can go fuck somebody else as long as they come home to you, then there has to be those ground rules. There has to be that
I think going back to basics, if you had parameters set up and they were broken, that person can't be trusted. And if you continue with it past that, it's at your own, your own warning, disclaimer, whatever the fuck you want to call it, but it's at your own risk. And you're only going to get hurt further because the parameters have already been broken. It is, not to go ahead and bring it back to the question, but it is the hymen that has been broken. I mean, that barrier is gone.
Right.
And now anything flows.
So, I mean...
Yeah, so rebuild your hymen elsewhere and realise that boundaries are boundaries.
Yeah.
I just don't get the whole, like, I'm leaving my partner but not my friend thing, right? I'm just like, what? Because
I mean,
for me, it would be the other way around, probably. Or none at all. I mean, I just wouldn't be in a poly relationship.
Yeah, I mean...
I'm way too insecure.
Poly relationships are complex as fuck.
Shits and giggles, I'm sorry, I don't want to speak for him. Could we get a foresight of what the fourth question was?
Oh, what? Oh, you want to hear it?
Yeah.
Let's do it. Welcome to GingerTalks Dating Corner. Let's see if this is worth it for you. My online relationship has been going for 2 years. I'm Midwest. He is Western Mass. I don't know what that means.
I don't know.
Western Mass?
Western Massachusetts.
Okay. So my online relationship has been going for 2 years. I'm Midwest. He's Western Mass. I want to say I love him, but I'm worried it can't be love without us meeting.
Okay. That I feel like that's a deeper question, and we'll catch that on with the second installment of Fatal Exodus X on... no, I'm kidding. That's a deeper thing. Yeah, I mean, for any kind of real feel or actual connection with that person, you need to be face-to-face and intimate. It's always going to be virtual up to that point, like this question.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's like relationships go in stages, right? And if you meet someone that's in your vicinity, then you build it up. Like, you start meeting up, you start, like, getting physical, you do all that stuff, you get intimate, and then you move out together. Just look at it like this. You've just got, like, an extra bit. You've got, like, a golfer's handicap on yours. You just need to, like, move on before you get to that part, right?
See?
Yeah.
I disagree.
Okay.
Because...
Well, you're out of the talk.
Well, fine.
No, I'm kidding.
I'm going to edit this out. No, please.
I married someone that I met online and felt that I loved before I met them face to face.
Yeah.
I actively fucking married that person. Now I met them face to face and had spent time with them, ended up living with them before the marriage. But this person is still one of my best friends. We are still soulmates on a level that, you know, this person will always be in my life. We don't have kids together, we don't have property together, but this person is still going to be a part of my life. But when I met her and developed feelings for her and everything was distance and online, we were together 1.5 years before I ever got the chance to meet her face to face.
Right.
And so I think it can work and you can do that, but you have to know that you can love and care about someone, and there are different kinds of love.
Right.
Because
So you're saying it may be construed from your expectations?
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's funny you say disagree, but I think in essence we're saying the same thing. And hear me out for a second on this, because I'm not saying it can't be, and it's not, like, valid. What I'm saying is they just have that extra step to take before it becomes like a life thing, right? So they need to, you know. I'm not saying don't say that you love him. I'm just saying, like, you know, if that's how you feel, take the midnight train to Georgia.
Yeah.
And just see, or Western Mass, whatever.
You're saying get it done and find out if it's something?
I'm saying Western Mass sounds like a Robert like fucking Eggers movie.
I
You know,
think it was the sequel to No Country for Old Men.
Yes.
You know, the first movie I ever needed subtitles for someone speaking in like fucking English for Tommy Lee Jones in that movie. I am my father. Also, it's like fucking Boomhauer, man. Online relationships are weird. I've never had one. I've had long.
I think the consensus from this is that it could be something, but until you actually meet face to face, don't get your hopes up.
Yeah, and sign up to MTV's Catfish.
Yeah. I mean,
and this has been Unplugged.
Just as someone who's done the distance and, you know, halfway across the country thing, you know, understand that romantic love will be a thing. It can be a thing that can happen, but make the visit, make the trip to see that person in person, and safeguard yourself so that if they aren't what you expect or what you have been led to believe, you know, and if then you're protected. If they are what you've been led to believe and they are that person, then you can find a way to make it work in whatever way it needs to.
And, you know, also, if you feel it, you know, just say it. Fuck it. Like, you know.
Yeah.
And this is the other thing, is that if that is how you met, also maybe that's the level of the intimacy that it was also meant to be. If you're expecting more and it started on that level, again, you just bottom line, sorry, I'm going back to what I was saying before. You can't get your hopes up in any way, shape, or form. That's going to be more than that.
Yeah, please don't expect him to be like a level fucking 12 mage. You know?
Open heart.
Could be a level 12 and you got Chris Hansen that comes around the corner.
Hey, excuse me there, fella. Can you just take a seat? Hey, there's no caps here. With his fucking fact file full of MSN conversations.
Hey, I'm Fatal Hansen.
You know, imagine that To Catch a Predator like file that Chris Hansen's carrying, like from like 2004, and it's just got like what was it on MSN, right? You know, the where you could press a button, it would make like a smiley face, like cover your whole screen.
Oh my god, I haven't thought about that in forever.
What we're talking about, it was like the monkey that covers its eyes for the introduction to OnlyFans, covering up naughty bits.
What was that called? It was like if someone wasn't responding to you, you could send them like.
It was like a nudge.
It was exactly what it was called, a nudge.
Yeah, okay.
You could just send them like it was like King Kong coming to crash your social life in the form of like a round yellow man with a fucking gaze in his eyes, like he was gonna like fucking buy you a McDonald's Happy Meal, right? And then imagine Chris Hansen's fat file. How many MSN nudges where it was just like a screenshot?
Oh god.
Well, I just want to go ahead and thank everybody for having me here today.
Well, hold on.
Hold on.
Hold on.
Wait.
We've got one more little segment, and it'll be quick. I got a couple questions of a different
vein. You promised me that in person after the 1.5-year internet relationship.
Whoa! Don't stop it.
I was talking to Druid.
Uh-huh.
I haven't had like prior experience with many of our guests, and can I just say, Fatal, it is an absolute pleasure to have a Twitch streamer that I have some experience and time with, and to don't do that. What are you doing?
Oh no, I just said oh. I was like, I appreciate it, and it's.
it was like a
I have
wistful...
had the pleasure of you chatting in my cavity. Chat. I mean,
God damn
I
it.
can be very anal about vocabulary.
well, just as long as you call.
Moving on.
God damn it. So
Anyway,
final
This is
segment that has
just
been
Benadryl.
right.
Just Benadryl.
Final segment that's been here since the very beginning of the podcast. And that
Yes.
is guest questions that are just kind of garden variety questions. They don't involve dating.
oh, I thought that was that.
No.
No, that's dating advice we've got.
Holy shit! All right, go ahead, far away. I took my pants off.
Oh,
Yeah,
Lord.
just editing, absolute
Nah, kidding. They're already off.
editing nightmare ahead of me on this one.
So
You're welcome. Listen, chaos. Anyone that has said chaos before, I'm really fucking subtle.
Well, chaos control.
oh, Lord.
I'm sorry.
So guest questions. This first question is a question that is asked to every new guest of the pod. And
Yes.
it comes from one of our patrons, Red the Abnormal. And
Yes, I know him well.
it is, what would be your mundane superpower?
Ramen noodle creation in a bowl without having to make it.
Yo, I love how quick you had that, and I actually love that mundane superpower.
Thank you.
Now, are we talking like the top ramen or like real ramen?
Next question.
Oh, shit.
Oh my god! What? So you've not even got like boil water? I mean, it's literally like a.
You guys are fucking dissecting this shit. I answered the fucking question. I'm just saying, it's just like boom. I got an empty bowl. Boom, ramen noodles. Oh shit!
Yeah,
I'm not asking
yeah.
questions. I'm happy, and I'm turning off. It's just like being a kid. You got movie tickets, popcorn. You've got grilled cheese. You got a dog that shows up out of nowhere. Life is good. Ramen noodles.
All right.
Yeah,
Usually
sorry.
people like him-ha, like they have to think about it. You just fucking had it.
Yeah,
I want my sodium up through the fucking roof within a minute.
I mean, that's fair.
Let's get him a mundane Disney Plus series.
God damn, man.
I know. I'm a god.
So, all right. Well, then I'm going to pick one of 3 questions submitted by,
You want me to answer it slowly, Ginger?
no, it's fine. Real
You
Andy.
tell me what you want.
Oh, God. Real Andy DeSeal asks,
Oh. Yes.
which Monopoly piece did you pick as your character?
Train.
Thimble.
See, I was a little money bag.
Capitalist scum.
I know.
I like getting trained.
I mean,
I
that's fair.
like wearing rubbers when I'm out in the wild.
I like the train, and the main reason is it had the most detail, I feel, to any of the Monopoly pieces. It had a story to tell onto itself. That's it.
I like that.
What
see that
about
for you.
what about the Monopoly Mandela effect? Right. I mean, really famous Monopoly guy. Monocle or no monocle?
No monocle.
Monocle. And the reason is, it seems like he's hiding something at the same time. He's making presents. He's political. I'd vote for the motherfucker.
Isn't a monocle just a magnifying glass for cunts?
God damn it.
As I put my monocle on the desk. No, I don't know what you're talking about.
No.
You know, you've got to look like an angry bulldog if you put a monocle in, because you got to do that whole like fucking putting your eyebrows up.
I mean, the fact of the matter is, if you want something handy, you don't like wearing glasses, it irritates your ears, and like you can't always see something. You got good vision 95% of the time, but sometimes you want to pay attention. It's like, oh, I'm really interested in this. For that one person, it could mean something.
The Monopoly man did not have a monocle.
Yeah.
The Monopoly man had Chris Hansen coming around the fucking corner, so don't. He was surrounded by kids all the time on his fucking board games. So I mean,
Yeah.
Excuse me, sir. Can you take a seat and take the monocle out?
you ever look at a fucking Monopoly board asking you if it wanted pizza? I mean,
Yeah. I was too busy staring at that community chest
Oh God.
because
but it's not full yet.
But what?
That's fucked up.
What the fuck? You know, and chance. What the fuck is that? Go to jail. Monopoly's a fucking horrific game.
Dude, I'm sorry. So you know how I do that thing, Druid, where I type something into Google and then I lead myself down a really weird path?
Oh yeah.
I found a page of just tattoos of the Monopoly man.
I mean, who's getting that?
A lot of fucking people.
Don't fucking shame me.
Listen.
You know, yeah, fucking fatal. If you've got a tattoo from the Monopoly man, if you've got that tattoo, I will show you a green dog.
No. I've got do not pass go point at my penis, and I got go directly to jail, which is my ass.
Sounds like you passed go, sir.
Oh my Lord.
Collect your $200 and fuck off.
All I can say is it's the only game where everyone comes out a winner.
I mean,
it's probably the best game of all time. Okay.
Oh God. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm just doom scrolling now. I'm just fucking doom scrolling the fucking Google results.
Ginger, yeah.
Have you guys got different properties to us on your Monopoly board?
I would guess so.
I don't have a joke for that.
We yeah, it's literally like that. Yeah, like I'm looking to buy like some kind of cardboard tycoon coming in there.
Well, let's ask a more pertinent question. If you were to buy a property that you could live on a Monopoly board, what would you live on?
Oh, there's
one property.
Theirs is different from ours.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. What was it? What was that you like? So, if you could could add a property to a Monopoly board and live there, what would it be?
No, an existing one. Where would you live?
So ours is different. So, like, if I were to give you one, you'd be like, "What the fuck are you talking about?"
I would say it's kind of chopped up into eighths, if you're good with that, or quarters if you're not so public school inclined. But like right past go, you got 1, 2, then you got 3, 4, 5, 6, and then 7, 8, and then you got the go or jail before that. But like would you be on the top quarter, bottom quarter? Like where would you be in that?
Well, I'd be at go because every time I left for work, someone would just hand me $200.
That's a good fucking answer.
Mm-hmm.
Like straight away.
That's
and what about that cop blowing the whistle that sends you to jail? What an absolute fucking farce!
Well, they got quotas.
Yeah.
I remember when the boys in blue used to mean something back in the Dark Knight Rises when they came out of that sewer.
Oh, Dark Knight Rises, don't get me started.
I'll be damned lied to you.
Oh, Mr. Man.
Hey, would you like to see my money bill? The
Jim's like, this is
Batman.
going too fucking long.
Yeah.
She's starting to scroll through fucking
Yeah,
TikTok.
she's literally looking at pictures of tattoos of the Monopoly man.
No, I'm comparing the UK and US Monopoly boards.
Yeah. Okay. The podcast has just hit peak like fucking weirdo hour where we're like, oh, so you've not got Park Lane?
It's gonna fucking like after hours at a fucking bar going back to deep cut again.
Yeah. And I've fucked the bartender and I don't know what to do.
So I fucked the bartender. Turned out to be the Monopoly guy. What do I do?
Yeah.
Fuck.
You,
Do not pass go directly to, they just went ahead and shut that down, Supreme Court. Never mind. What's the next
Ooh.
question?
my favorite piece on the Monopoly board is Epstein Island.
Oh.
Oh, is that where it said most pieces might be a choking hazard?
Oh.
Well, Bill Gates gives you mega hotels as hush money.
Yes. Is there another question?
we're gonna do one last one and then we will call it. Andy
Yes,
has
please.
provided us some great
Absolutely.
some great questions. What are you absolutely confident that you are in the top 10% of in the world? So something that you
Penis size.
Oh, okay.
What was that?
What are you absolutely confident that you are in the top 10% in the world?
No, Fatal's answer was so quick. He like answers the questions like so quick. He's like
Penis size.
Penis size.
Yes, I get extra large socks. I have small feet, but I need somewhere to tuck it.
Oh my god. He's like tying it to his fucking leg.
Yeah. Zip ties, because twine doesn't cut it.
Yeah, well, after taking that Benadryl, I look like a fucking 3-bean salad.
Yeah. What? Reading people. Is my legitimate answer. Reading people.
Can you read us both now?
Yeah, your fucking names are lighting up on Discord.
Oh my god. That's like having the
Druid.
That's like having the superpower of admin.
Yeah. Ginger, what's your answer?
I don't know.
Well, that's not a fucking answer.
I'm thinking, because
feel free to edit this shit out.
I mean, this like half of this episode.
What's the first thing that comes to mind? That's her answer. Enjoying the moment.
Being pensive. Sleeping with shit comedians.
I mean,
Pensive is a suspended penis, right?
I don't. I mean, I don't know.
What do you feel that you're good at?
Nothing.
What do you feel that you're good at?
Nothing.
Well, her top 10% is saying nothing.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it's something that you're good at. You bridged into streaming very quickly. You went ahead and raised over $25,000 for St. Jude in a very short time. So, not having expectations for yourself, but still doing.
Yeah.
Let's give a round of applause to Ginger.
Yeah. Wow. Having like a cult leader like grasp on the community without the pitfalls of like mass suicide.
I mean,
and on that note, drink your Kool-Aid.
Yeah. I'm like gonna put a siren in there, like drink the Kool-Aid.
I gotta say, I'm looking forward to this podcast getting truncated down to about 20 minutes. Post-process.
If you think I'm gonna like put that kind of effort into it, you are absolutely kidding.
30 minutes.
So what about you guys?
What?
Well, he's already said penis size.
Well,
no, that was my first joke answer. Reading people.
Okay.
Reading people.
No, pimento. Remember?
Yes.
Yeah.
No, I can see that for you, Fatal.
Pimento?
No, reading people.
Oh, yes.
The sorcerer's stone.
You were saying, Druid, as far as your top 10%?
Well, when I was at preschool, I would call it maybe primary school. I don't know what you would call it, middle school. I would have said Tekken 3. But those days have passed me. I don't know. Top 10% in the world. I would go for reading people. No. I really don't know.
I think
It's got to be something that comes to it. I mean, the fact of the matter is, look at your life experience. Things that you've gotten called out for, things along those lines. Like, people say you're such a, and then maybe take a positive twang to that.
I would say, yeah, I would say I'm in the top 10% of endearing Twitch comments.
I was gonna say it's gotta. The first thing that comes to my mind is the way that you can word and eloquently make a meme and a joke sound while also saying something actually brilliant.
Well, I feel I've put that idea to bed like tonight pretty harshly. Yeah, I'm quite well spoken, but I'm not in the top 10%. Like, it's definitely Twitch comments because I can't think of anyone else that managed to forge a fucking podcast out of just saying ridiculous shit like on people's streams. So I guess that's my like and what a legacy to leave behind, right?
Well, let's go ahead and reverse this. Not what you would say about yourself, but what you would say about the other people within this podcast. Druid, I would think that you are extremely eloquent. You're a what do you call those people that can bend themselves into a fucking suitcase?
A contortionist.
Contortionist, thank you. It's getting late here. Contortionist with words to the point that you can paint a picture of holy shit, he accomplished that. Ginger. Well, you're Ginger. I would wind up saying that you don't give yourself enough credit, and you definitely go ahead and surpass the bar with most of your expectations of your community, even if they don't surpass your own.
I mean, has he just done a read?
Yeah, he has. He has read us.
Oh,
The thing that Fatal's really good at, and that's reading people, and it's the things that they try not to show.
I can't read. Oh my god, I don't have any books.
I feel like I've got to give some kind of like linguistic fucking like tirade on him now. Like, oh.
No, save it for Calgore's stream. Seriously, please.
Like, I would love to think that he's just sat there in Calgore Towers right now, in his like little gamer chair, cute guy, and he's thinking right now. I can't wait to do the podcast, but really, I'm dreading the prospect of being in the online chat room with Druid Knowledge, man, because I feel that I really uniquely fucking dropped the bombs on Calgore without context.
Yeah.
Yes, you. I have been there when you came into the chat, which has been many a time. And the fact of the matter of what you've laid on definitely stopped him in his tracks, but he picked up gracefully and moved on while acknowledging and appreciating.
Yeah.
Ginger's scrolling through fucking TikTok right now, or like Twitter.
I don't do the TikToks. I don't understand.
I don't either.
Those newfangled kid things.
Oh. Ginger is scrolling through Etch-a-Sketch.
Yes.
Ooh, wouldn't that be a good name?
Oh my god, dude.
Oh my god, Etch-a-Sketch. That's gotta be a fucking...
Yes. Yes. Just yes. Fatal, You are phenomenal at reading people, and you take things seriously while also giving an air of not saying that you don't give a fuck, but you can still make a heavy mood light a lot of the times, and you're just really good at those kinds of situations. And Druid, you have a heart of gold, and you have a way of speaking that just makes everybody around you either feel instantly smarter, or it, like, sometimes with me where I'm like, I feel really fucking dumb now, but that's okay. I'm comfortable with me, goddammit.
All right, let's go ahead and dissect that real quick. Ginger said, I can dumb people down, and then everyone is worse than Druid.
No, that is
No, I'm
not what
fucking
I
with
said.
you.
That is not what I said. How dare!
I mean, I can't believe you've just said that because, like, I don't know about you, but I felt like I was receiving a fucking vocal bouquet when she said that.
I did too, but
Yeah,
I mean,
so I feel like I should be saying, like, you know, I like to give to charity, and
No.
I feel like I'm in like a pageant queen.
No. It's because we don't fucking treat ourselves well enough as people. I'm fucking calling that out right now because I'm not nice enough to myself. I fucking know that.
Well, I mean, Ginger. Well, I feel like I'll put my hat in the ring now. Ginger, you work hard, harder than many people I know in like really difficult like fucking fields, and you like work harder than people that I know that have dedicated their life to things like study and the kind of things that you know are like, for want of a better word, like respected. But like you're going out and you're working so hard on everything that you're doing, and I think that to a level where I'm like envious of how your focus, and I think your focus has been so true and real that it's becoming true for you now, and we're starting to see that like snowball effect of like everything that you're working towards is becoming like a real thing, and that's like inspirational to see. And so I like respect you greatly for that. And 10% of the world, the rest of the 90%, better watch out. And Fatal.
hi. Yeah.
Over the course of the last few hours, your deep Barry White-esque tones have melted me like I'm a bar of chocolate on a campfire. I can't handle. What happened to you to sound like that, man?
The years of when I was younger and slightly overweight, I did happen to stretch my testicles down to my knees through self-love, and by that process I've been able to go ahead and have people enjoy my dulcet tones. I don't expect anything back. I just want people to really enjoy themselves and bring it back to home.
That felt like a fucking movie. What are you doing? You're in the wrong band. What the fuck was that? I want people to enjoy themselves.
Yeah.
Oh, I feel like I'm
Yeah.
no.
Keep enjoying yourself. I'm watching. Keep enjoying yourself.
What?
Yeah. Yep.
Can
Yep.
we get this guy an Oscar already? What the fuck is that?
And no matter what happened this Christmas, everyone remember it's not how much you give to yourself, but how much you give to each other that really counts.
And if you get the gift of a 3.5 hour podcast recording this Christmas,
But if you get a grandmother that goes ahead and gives you a fucking other sweater that doesn't fit, just throat punch that bitch. I swear to God. She has to fucking learn. I don't care if she's 70, 80 years old. She needs to get the fucking tone set. I swear to God. It's like, please. Don't listen to it.
Yeah, dismantle that white picket fence and shove it up her old wrinkled ass.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of, it looks like an amoeba.
Yeah.
I think we're losing Ginger.
Well,
I appreciate it.
No. The only thing I have to say is all my grandparents are dead, so...
Me too. Oh my God, maybe they know each other.
Maybe.
I've got 3 out of 4, and one of my grandparents, Alec, we'll call him, his real name, doxed you, Alec, you fucking dick. He actually, you can tell he's from a different generation because he still sports unironically, the Hitler mustache.
Oh, no.
Wow. Well, that concludes this Ginger Talks. Please go ahead and stay tuned for insert media here. Pause. And recoup. All right, pick up.
This goes on.
By the way, do me a favor, go and take the Barry White tones and go ahead and clip that and put that like towards the beginning of the podcast so keep people intrigued.
Can't get enough of your love, Fatal.
Well,
give me 5 minutes, roll over, and I'll entertain again.
Well, I think I speak for both of us when I say Fatal. It has been a pleasure to have you on the pod.
Are we done?
We're gonna go ahead and wrap this up because Druid eventually needs to go to sleep.
No.
But
not one more question, no.
There's one more, but I honestly feel like I'm being called out when I read it, so I.
Just do it.
I look forward to my IMDb after this.
So
they'll actually delete it.
Oh no shit.
So
that's sad.
I can ask the final question that was there.
Fuck it, we've been here all night. We may as well.
Go ahead.
All right. Go to breakfast,
Go
question
ahead.
mark. If you don't eat breakfast, go to lunch, question mark. If you don't eat lunch, do you eat enough calories?
Personally, since I'm the guest, I will go ahead and I will give the audience the pleasure of my answer. With my field, my breakfast, if you count it, is coffee. My lunch, never heard of it. As far as dinner and then subsequent, yes. That is meat sticks, cheese. It's I eat. Next.
Go on, Ginger.
I don't typically eat the typical breakfast. I typically don't.
Babies?
No. I honestly eat maybe one meal a day, and I get enough calories to sustain me as a human. I don't have a 2,000 calorie diet typically. I eat maybe one, maybe sometimes 2 meals. I don't. For being a big girl, I don't eat a whole lot. And that's just kind of what it is.
Fair. Druid?
So what, we're going through our whole dietary plan?
Oh God, I want to know when you poop.
Semi-regularly. And it's like a fist, right? It's fine. Don't. It's like Thor's hammer. It's like a fist. It's like well composed because of all the fiber. So in the morning I'll get up at 7:40 a.m. and I have a practice in which I kick off the, all the bed covers and stuff and just stand up no matter how tired I am because and
the duvet.
Yeah, the duvet comes off, and and so my practice is this: I stand up eat no matter how tired I am, because I routinely stay up till 4 and 5 in the morning recording podcasts.
Right.
So nothing puts the wind in the sails like standing up. And I feed off the rush of blood to my head. And then I go and eat. This is literally true, by the way, which is like super upsetting. I go down and have a thin slice of melon in the morning, like I'm some kind of serial killer. So cantaloupe, usually. So I have a thin slice of melon just to remind me how like shit the world is. And the people I live with, they have like sugary cereals on the fucking countertop, and I eat a thin slice of melon. And then I'll go to work, and then eat the diet of a budgerigar, in that I have like a selection of fruits and nuts. But if the school cafeteria is serving French fries or mac and cheese or pizza, then I lie to them and tell them that I've not brought lunch into work and take it. And
that felt like a life experience right there. I mean,
yeah.
And then, sorry.
Well, that is a lot. This is like my daily routine. Like literally, I'll sound like such a fucking psycho right now in how uniform it is. But and then I go home and prepare a meal. If I'm not getting like DoorDash takeout like bullshit, then I'll prepare a meal, and it's basically the same meal in different configurations 3 times. I either like make an Asian stir fry with noodles or rice, curry, or chili, and it's all got the same vegetables in it with different spices, and that is my diet every day.
Yeah.
You shit like a racehorse.
What was that?
You shit like a racehorse.
No. I was actually like really worried that I was not shitting enough at one point, because like I got major performance anxiety when my ass was over the toilet at work the other day, and I was like, man, you're not shitting enough.
So it's public defecation that gives you the anxiety.
Yeah, but is that not like is that not so pathetic? Like,